involved further down the field. And he's the benefit of the passage of place begun by Ollie Lord.
We can see Darcy Byrne-Jones running down the right-hand side. Paul Curtis was with him, but decided to stop running, and he was on his own. So, great work ethic.
And he's become a star as well, Darcy Byrne-Jones, who was picked 52 in the 2013 draft. He couldn't get a game for Port Adelaide in his first season on the list, but not every player stars first season or two. Some take a little bit more time, and he's really become a star of their show. Parker working hard, got one high.
Got it now. Thank you, Stan.
Plenty of heat coming from Port at the moment. Pressure ranking up over 250, which is enormous. And North unable to match that down at around 160.
She's a launches it, gets 60 on it. On Francis, dangerous handball back to Jones, but it is problem. Jones wrapped up by Larkey.
So two really good efforts there from Nick Larkey. One, the kick wasn't to his advantage, but he was able to spoil over the top of Radigalia, and then he backs up with a defensive tackle. Really good play.
Perfect spot for a ball up for North here. Moraes quickly wrapped up by Constanti.
Watch behind me, please.
This is the most important part of the ground, to apply pressure of your own. Lock the ball forward. You can't get hurt if the ball lives in your forward 50.
On Francis so often pulls a high free. Didn't get one there. Holding the ball. They're holding the ball.
Well, they didn't give it too high. I thought that it was a really late whistle for too high. I thought an umpire from who wasn't officiating closely overruled it, but Payne holding the ball. That's incredible.
Didn't protest in too great a fashion.
Have a look at this.
He ducked looking for it.
Okay, so all the North fans watching this at home probably screaming at the TV saying he ducked, guys. He ducked. Huge moment here for Tom Powell. They've had a few chances, North, and blown them. But not Tom Powell. Perfect.
I don't mind the decision, Ruth.
You happy with it?
Yeah, if players go searching for it, he definitely dropped down looking for it, and it was fleeting. He didn't rip his neck off. It was just fleeting high contact as he ducked down.
Gee, seen it paid a million times.
True. But I like umpires that look for it.
It'd be nice if the memo goes out and they're doing this in all games as well. And I think most would believe if you duck.
Did he handball it out or throw it?
Well, I think they ultimately paid a throw against him.
What's in the middle, goal square?
Well, North Melbourne up in contested possessions at the moment, 14-7, up in the clearance as well, 6-3. They haven't been able to put anything on the scoreboard through the big sticks yet, but they've just done that now. So a bit of reward for effort in the start of this first quarter.
Also having a pretty good season, Tom Powell. They picked 13 from 2020, fifth season. Best season for him. Drew Wines. Paul Francis out the front. Could have gone for home. He goes for the pass. Lord! Lace out with a ribbon on it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful kick, isn't it? A good lead, a beautiful kick. It looked like North got the tap in the middle that they wanted. Darling just brought it straight down in the middle, but it was the Port midfield that jumped onto it. And Horn Francis able to deliver a dart to the leading player.
Standing on the mark there. So Jimmy, you are in zone, yeah?
That's been Port's mode of operation quite a bit under Ken Hinkley. Leave that pocket open. So most teams will be aware of it, but that leading lane in the pocket was available again for Ollie Lord. And he drills it. He's looking the goods. Ollie Lord.
Well, forwards lick their lips when players like Jason Horne-Francis or Zach Butters run out the front of the centre bounce clearance. They've got more space at that time of the game than probably any other time, and no one's going to catch Jason when he's bursting out of there. And a beautiful kick just gave Comben no chance of affecting the spoil. Have a look at this. Plenty of space, kick to the advantage side, and a perfect kick to finish.
You make a good point, Rue, as well. Comben's top 5 in the AFL for intercept marks this year, so kicking it long, probably not the way of getting it to Lord if Comben's on him.
Well, they usually try and get Comben on a small or a, not a real key player, so he can drift off and do that. But with the two drop players today, he has to man up on a big guy.
Ball up. 2 second rucks go at it. Here's the Hornet again. lost the handle. Wardlaw beat him to it, then he's wrapped up and rolled nicely. Good battle.
I reckon you can tell with Horn Francis if he's had the right thing for breakfast in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then you just get on and enjoy the ride, unless you're the opposition.
Farrell squeezed it wide. Does he play better angry, Roo, or does he play worse angry?
Well, you just see he's on his toes, he's going flat out, he's doing everything. I love watching him when he's in that mood.
How do you know when he's angry, Dwayne? He always looks angry.
That's a good point, Butters.
When he's more angry.
Squeezed it wide. Now Pepper took the heat. Thought about turning and going. He hands it off instead. Farrell can kick this. On the move. In game 100. Goal square. Curtis a long way back to help out.
Well, he might have learned his lesson from the Darcy Byrne-Jones one.
Oh, no.
Kicked the dirt. Moraes hands it over. Could have gone for home. He gave it to Berry, who's back in. Too unselfish. Moraes has never kicked an AFL goal. And he didn't want to go for home.
Replace Devitt's voice.
So he just hit the ground with his kick, with his boot before he hit the ball.
Get Sean Burgoyne to run out with a sand bucket shortly. Wines knocks it down. Drew in the congestion.
Guys, just watching the early matchups. Connor Rosie started at half-back, as he has the last couple of weeks, and Darcy Tucker seems to go with him, even followed him to the bench.
Right, we'll keep an eye on that then. He's been talked about in sensational form at half-back, Rosie. That's a mark. Got to pay it, Parker.
Started well, Luke Parker. He's coming out for possession number 5. In game number 300, he is pumped up.
293 of them for Sydney. Every one of the 300 in the number 26. That's a good mark as well. Constanti, he gave the big shush to the crowd. Even though North were 10 goals down against Carlton last week, he still decided to shush them. I'm sure you want to shush this Port Adelaide crowd today. They've got a fence here for a reason.
I think he realised quickly after doing it that perhaps wasn't perfect timing for it.
I'll let him know if he goes with that one.
Radicalier on Larky's going to be an interesting matchup. I reckon he'd be happy with that, Larky.
Yeah, speaking of that Carlton game, Larky has 4 possessions last week. 1 goal against the Blues. He had a down day. Front on contact, Hardiman. Also back into the team this week, Riley Hardiman. Game 6. First game of the season.
So getting a little bit of the ball and playing it in their forward half. This has been a good patch for North Melbourne.
Been drafted as a rebounding half-back, so brought him back in to do exactly that. Off the field, Curtis. He's a tough man to stop, and they dodge a ball here, Port Adelaide.
See, they could easily be in front. And they have missed some opportunities. That was a terrific crumb, front and square. Just didn't get the contact he was looking for.
Yeah, abandoned that coach's box. They hit him downstairs, mate.
Didn't like it.
No.
Don't tell me the Toms are broken down there as well.
Either that or they're all stuck in the lift.
Farrell in game number 100 taking the kick out.
He's one of their better kicks. Tightrope the boundary. Richards, little fake, then gave. On Francis, the forward handball gave. Georgiades just hit the pause button, hesitation step. Jones! Zerha went hard and hurt himself, didn't hurt Jones. Bounced up like a rubber ball. Farrell caught, slung 360. Has to be ball? No.
Oh, that had to be holding the ball. He made the choice to hang on to it. He was tackled around the waist. He didn't have the arm spin.
50 metres as well. So
That was bad. Not the way he wanted to start game number 100, Kane Farrell.
Zerha went hard. He hurt himself when he hit the deck.
He's going to end on the hip.
Didn't give it to him first time, and good to see the umpires being tough on that. The numbers say Paul Curtis is on track for maybe an All-Australian jumper this year, and he drills it.
Having a good day at the office, already up to 7 disposals, 5 kicks there, a couple of shots on goal. Got the 1 goal one, missed that snap he probably should have got earlier, but said earlier, Port have not got a lockdown defender in their side. Lockie Jones has got the task. So there's the hard hit that Zerha injured himself in, up against Lockie Jones. And there's the hit.
It's extraordinary, though. They've fought back. They're having a really good patch, but they've still got 8 players that are yet to touch the ball, North Melbourne, and there's only 1-2 for Port Adelaide. And that includes Jai Simpkin for North. So plenty of upside still to come.
There's Paul Curtis's numbers. I said he's on track for maybe a first All-Australian. It's hard to get an All-Australian, one of the lower teams. North have only had one All-Australian in the last 6 years. Nick Larkey, Rosie, screams away. Me! Good dance step, caught, nudged. It affected the kick. Georgiades kept his feet. Little juggle, got it away. Lord, touched as the call.
Gee, you saw right there, we're probably going to have a review, but the umpire called touch play on as soon as the kick happened. You got a great example there of Rosie coming off the back foot. When that centre bounce clearance was in dispute, the final hand pass, you just saw him screaming from the back, carrying it through. There's the fingers. I don't get why we review it if the umpire called it with confidence right then.
Because it's a goal, isn't it? Or is it because it would have been a goal if he got it wrong?
Yeah, but here's the thing, Ruth.
The ball's touched by the North Melbourne defender. This is
If
not
it
a
was
score.
marked in the goal square, he wouldn't have paid the mark because it was touched off the boot. So why do you change just because it went through the post?
Well, I'm not sure, but they review every goal. We know that, so I'm not sure if that's a...
That helps Port Adelaide set up, though. North don't get the chance to kick in immediately. They have to wait. Port Adelaide zone set up. Daniel. Cherry gets there, spills it, but got manhandled by Sweet, who wasn't going the ball. Hardeman, chip kick is good. Powell holds it up. Some room to roam. Sends it along the Larky direction. He's in a good spot again, and he holds this one.
Good body work. That was a really classical one-on-one contest, pull back, pull forward. And Larky showed some strength.
Guys, as it's going on, North's Finn O'Sullivan's gone up the race to have a check with the doctor, and the sub, Dersman's doing a few warm-ups, so we'll keep you posted on that one.
You think Sean Finn O'Sullivan and obviously Cam Zerha got that hit, so let's hope they're both okay.
Doesn't miss off on this bloke, Wayne.
Oh, no, Jason.
Back him in.
Jason Dussel, he kicked,
Oh!
he kicked 1,254 of them.
He never
So if
shanks the
anyone's got a
ball.
right to throw that out, you have,
He
Jason.
never shanks the
No,
ball.
he
That was
Wow.
a beautiful kick. They should be in front, North Melbourne. Been a really good start.
Radical out.
I know what Port Adelaide are trying to do. They're trying to get a Lear on a lesser opponent so he can come over and intercept Mark. But if North Melbourne can isolate Radicaleer on Larky, I think Larky will have a day out.
Puts it up to the wing. Good flying Lord. Butters on the run. Chip kick is good. Burn Jones on the line. Played on outside the boundary. Allowed to. Now Pepper. A sizzler inside to the inform Riola. To a huge round of applause. The Port faithful. 3 last week against Sydney. 3 the week before against Hawthorn. A low possession, high impact player.
It's a couple of beautiful quick kicks.
Plays 100th in a few weeks against Geelong. 51 games in a premiership with the Eagles. With ease, Shilling piece. Coolly.
And he does show pace, doesn't he? He just gets the goals, he gets in the right spots, he only has to take a step or two to get a goal. He's just a real dangerous player to stand on. Have to be right on him the whole time.
Well, danger signs for North Melbourne is what's happening inside Port Adelaide's forward 50. They've already taken 6 marks from just the 9 entries. They are one of the best teams at taking marks inside their attacking 50, and they're doing it again. I nearly said he doesn't miss either before the kick, but I was a little gun shy. That's my last
Well,
performance.
North Melbourne wanted you to say that, because it used to get it 1-1. Got to stop the scoring though, North, don't they? Getting a lot of scores kicked on 153 points for Carlton last week. That's the worst they've had all year, and averaging 127% points against in losses this year.
Yeah, it's way too many, isn't it? Way too many.
And with their defence, it's worse than last year. So on average, they conceded 110 points a game last year. This year they're conceding an average of 117 points a game, and only to tell North fans they've lost their past 4 games by an average of 59 points, 10 goals a game. They've lost their last 4 by. McKercher hassled off it, winds. Berry in Houston's old number 5. Richards to the beat. Hands it over, McDonald goes and gets it. Rioli wanted to get him. Comben. Skies it, winds, read that beautifully, then dropped it. Fights the fight though, kept in the area. Darling comes up to help out.
Guys, good news for the Roos. Finn O'Sullivan's out of the change rooms. It looks like he'll be back on very shortly.
So that's Sean. Well, that looks throwish or fumbly. Well, I said it wasn't a throw, it was a fumble. Sheasel. Oh, good commitment by Farrell in game 100.
Lucky we've cleaned the game over the last 20 years.
It's out wide. Sean's nephew was playing well early as well. Chip to the pocket for space. Thumb cleared to the boundary. Mentioned Kane Farrell's toughness. He was picked 51 in 2017. He grew up having a kick in the backyard in Castlemaine with his brother and his brother's mate, who was Dustin Martin. So
tough kick to kick.
Yeah, he learned from the best.
It's taken him a long time to get to 100 games, though. I mean, he's such a critical part of the team. He's the ball distributor. But he's 26 years of age now, so it just took him a while to consolidate his spot in the Port lineup.
Floater inside 50. Too many Kangaroos went up. Maybe Burn Jones gave it up through. Fed it further forward. Power Pepper with a push off. Just bulldozed his way through with a power. Power Pepper.
That's what the Port fans love. They love seeing the bull in action. Just refused to be tackled. Shrugged 2 tacklers, or 2 would-be tacklers. I'm sure Alistair Clarkson wouldn't have been thrilled with the tackling Evans, but this man, when he's on the rampage, good luck stopping him. They've just put their foot down. Adelaide, a couple of quick goals and opened up some good breathing space.
May well be the hardest player in the AFL to tackle, Sam Powell Pepper, when he's up and about. He's a raging bull, there's no doubt about it. Just starting to get his form going too after the knee injury of last year.
He plays his 150th next week against the Dogs in Ballarat. Down Powell Pepper. It's game 149. And scramble. Rosie again coming quick off the square. Simpkin wobbles it inside 50. The chaos ball doesn't work. Jones outside of the boot. Just changed his mind after the ball drop almost as to where he wanted to go. Horn Francis, hesitation step. Powell Pepper strong and goes. They can smell some blood here, Port Adelaide. Butters with the inside kick. Knocks it delivered. Mead hands it off. Rosie from half back. He can get himself another. The captain with a monster.
They are up and about Port Adelaide at the moment. As soon as they get their tails up, they start running and running and running. And when they do that, they are very, very hard to stop. They've got a lot of speed all over the ground, especially with Rosie at half back. They've got a good balance over all parts of the ground. And they just took it off there. Just look at Powell Pepper here. This is when they're confident, when they start doing things like that. Off to Butters. Look at this free kick. Perfect. Halfback, one of the most important positions on the ground in modern football.
It's turned them around, hasn't it, Roo? They get Butters back to go into the midfield, and then the strategic move of Rosie to half-back. They just look a different side.
Well, Butters is on fire. He's been in the best on ground in the votes the last couple of games. He is a game changer. Full stop.
The last 3 goals, Port Adelaide, essentially in the last 3 minutes of play. Marker got a kick. Juan Francis trapped it. High contact. Butters free but play onto advantage. Juan Francis to half forward. She's not got a hand on it and it rolls to the back. Connor Rosie saw his possession averages off half back. His position high this year, 35 against Collingwood. His low, 20 against St Kilda in a loss. So if they can get the good Rosie the majority of the time, they're going to be a different team, Port Adelaide. Well, not to the front, Butters. Moraes, a little fumble back to Butters. Clean-handed. Now Pepper on hands and knees. Howe caught. Rough just in time. Hardeman 3-on-3 in the middle. Jones wins it to the fist. He knew Farrell was there. It wasn't just a spoil. It was a spoil to Farrell. That might go. Trickle, roll. On the side.
Thank you.
I'll have to get one here, North, but don't want to concede another one here with 2 minutes left, quarter time. North fans have seen this movie before. Drew. Dropped 2 defenders, star recruits they were, to add to their defence. Aidan Core a few years ago and Griffin Loeb. Both recruited to bolster their defence, but it's been shaky again this year, as I mentioned, worse this year than last year, conceding more scores. They've swapped it around again. Callan Dawson in, Jackson Archer back from his suspension. Parker, Cherry. Luke Davies-Uniacke out to me, gave it to Sweet, working in a phone box, they did pretty well. Hardeman needs to mop this up. Archer, got a high, truck it high. Sheasel, they can play onto the open side now. Stevens gets his chance.
They're out here. Oh,
Over the head of Zerha. Worst possible result. Chip kick, cut off by Daniel Lowe.
Well, it's a horrible exit kick, and then they got a horrible entry kick to get it back.
He couldn't see on the screen, but Larkey was out in his own the next kick over as well. They only had to hit their target, and they were probably scoring there.
Parliament again, he's had plenty of it. First game of the year. Sweet and Sherry. Huge crumb to win here. With 55 seconds left, Sweet wins it, spears it, and found DBJ.
Well, it didn't find Burn Jones. I think it would have found Georgiades, who was on the lead. It was a beautiful kick from Sweet. Now, Burn Jones gets an opportunity to kick his second, and all of a sudden the scoreboard's starting to look very dangerous from a North Melbourne perspective. When it looked like they'd worked their way back into the contest, it's just going all wrong for them late in the quarter.
For a 7-goal first term. Put him in a goal with a close for a metre apart.
It's been a bad 5 minutes, hasn't it, for North, and a great 5 minutes for Port Adelaide. In that time, they've kicked 4 goals to none, 9 inside 50s to 1, 41 disposals to 21. They're just smashing them in the last 5 minutes.
And it turned the clearances around. And now that defence that has been under pressure every week is under pressure once again. And it's difficult when the ball's coming down so quickly.
Zach Butters had 6 disposals in that last little period.
Yeah.
Up to 11 for the quarter.
He's averaging 30 possessions a game, Zach Butters, same as Marcus Bontempelli and Nick Dacos, averaging this year before this round. Nick had a few yesterday from the ball up. Howe, the dying seconds, can they get a mark? Get something against the grain here. Parker, of all people, and he holds it up. He knows how long left, doesn't want to play on as the siren sounds.
Well, that was just great stuff. Most small forwards, midfielders don't have the courage or probably think they've got the permission to go for those sort of grabs, but he didn't care then. He put himself up. Quite often you can get hurt in that situation, but he flew and he's got great hands, so well done.
You can see the concentration on his face. He knows how big this is. It's his celebration day. He's got the family and friends in the house. He misses to the near side. Only A behind. Port Adelaide dominate. North, Groundhog Day for them. They've conceded 7 goals in the opening term. A lot of time left for the fight back though. 7-3-45 to 2-4-16 at quarter time in bright sunshine at the Adelaide Oval.
And welcome in, everybody. It's Port Adelaide taking on North Melbourne. And tell you what, this was a pretty good game up until this point. up until about the 24-minute mark of the opening quarter. And then Port Adelaide went bang, 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 bang. Wow, North Melbourne were going pretty good there and looking all right. But Port Adelaide put the foot to the pedal. And I'll tell you what, they sped away. They sped away. What is it? 29 points. 29 points of difference. Port Adelaide win. 7-3-45. A great opening term for Port Adelaide. 2-4-16 North Melbourne. They just need to kick a little bit straighter. But there's good. That's a good game of footy here today. I think we should expect a nice second quarter coming up, not too far away. Not too far away. Just want to say g'day to Christina. Come on north, she said. In the chat. Kylie, how you going? Al's Adventure Vlogs, how you going, Squire? Will we ever see the Sydney Swans team win a flag with my eyes? You just never know, Al. You just never know in football. But I tell you what, if that's to happen, the Swans certainly need to improve in a lot of areas. I think their star players need to lift because they just seem to be out of form a little bit, their top players. But in this game today, let's just have a look because I didn't get to do this, the ins and outs for these teams. So for Port Adelaide, coming in was Joey Richards, Jeremy Finlayson and Joe Berry. All the J's, the triple J's coming in. Going out, Rory Atkins, Travis Boak, Tom Cochran, of course the sub, Jeremy Finlayson. Milestone game there for Port Adelaide. Kane Farrell plays his 100th game. Well done. Congratulations to Kane Farrell. And, of course, for North Melbourne, they got 3 changes also coming in. Kellen Dawson, Jackson Archer and Riley Hardman. They're the ins for North Melbourne. The outs for North Melbourne, Aiden Core, Griffin Logue and Zach Fisher. Zane Dersma is the sub, of course. And have a look at this for a milestone game for North Melbourne. Luke Parker celebrates his 300th game. Now, there's a feat in itself. 300 games of AFL football. Fantastic effort from Luke Parker. Let me just scroll up just in case anyone wants to see the teams or they're watching this later on. They can pause that and check out the teams as they stand. All right, let's go and have a little bit of a look at the player stats and the goal kickers for the opening term here. Ryan, how you going? Ryan Avery, Rogue One, welcome in. Good to see you. There's a happy Richmond supporter. Good to see. Darcy Bird-Jones, the leading goal scorer out there for Port Adelaide. He's the only one with multiple. He's got 2. Connor Rose, Willie Rioli, Sam Powell-Pepper, Ollie Lord, Mitch Georgiadis, single goal scorers. And, of course, for the Kangaroos, North Melbourne, only got 2 goal scorers, both scoring singles, Tom Powell and Paul Curtis there, the single goal scorers. Let's have a look who's getting the disposals in the opening quarter. Zach Butters, he's having a flyer of a first quarter. He's had 11 touches, 6 kicks, 5 handballs, 2 clearances and 3 tackles. Luke Parker, the old boy, he's doing best for North Melbourne. He's on 9 with 6 kicks, 3 handballs, a clearance and behind. Ollie Wines and Jason Horn-Francis both on 8. I tell you what, here's a bloke I love watching. I think he's a bit of a star and a bit of a gun for Port Adelaide. That's Sam Powell-Pepper. They call him the Bull. I tell you what, I love what he does, how he goes about his football. He's had 5 touches, 2 kicks, 3 handballs. He's kicked a major already in the opening quarter. We look forward to the rest of his game. I think it could be electrifying like it has been. He's been in pretty good form. Harry Sneasel there, 4 possessions for the Roos. He's just had the 4 kicks. Let's just keep going. George Wardle, we expect him to come into the game a little bit more, especially with Harry Sneasel. He's had 3, just the 3 handballs, 1 clearance for him so far. All right, we're going to get back down to the commentators in just a moment. Willie Rioli there for Port. Just a 1 touch, 1 kick, but he's kicked a goal, 3 tackles, so he's putting the pressure on, which is good when he can't get the ball. And there we go. Jackson Archer coming back into the team for North Melbourne, just a 1 disposal so far. They certainly need to get a little bit of his grit and grime of his father on ball today. Let me just roll that up, put it back on the scoreboard, and we'll head back down to the ground. We're not too far off the bounce of the ball for the second quarter, where it's Port Adelaide by 29.
come from our mistakes, which is really pleasing also that we, it's only because we make something go wrong.
And just in your forward lines, looked like you had Lord and Georgiadis in the goal screen, all your smalls up around the 50. What's the reason behind that?
Oh, we just think they give us an honest contest and our smalls can go to work on the ground.
No worries. Thanks, Ken.
Kept it simple, didn't he, Ken?
Well, they do get a good contest. You get Lord and Georgiadis throwing themselves at the ball, flying for contests. If they don't mark it, the ball hits the deck. And as he said, that's when the others should be hitting it at speed.
29-point lead to Port Adelaide. Ball smacked into the deck to start this second term. Parker almost counts Rosie. Quick off the square again. Handballs inside to Butters. The old firm combined. Butters, Rosie, Horn Francis toward Georgiadis, who loves to fly. He's done that a bit this year, threatened to take mark of the year. It's not mark of the century.
Yeah, well, and he will take mark of the century. He just sat that up kind of Rosie like he was kicking in the schoolyard just for Mitch to take a hanger there.
Sweet. Tristan Cherry scrambles it away. 2-on-2 on the wing. Radically got a fist on it, knocked down. That looked a little high from here.
Go with him, Willem. Thank you. Jason. 50 metres.
50 metres. So Horn Francis got too close to Constanti. So this will bring Constanti within range.
And see Willem Drew making sure that Sheasel didn't get the hand pass. And I reckon Horn Francis might have been thinking he's going to get called to play on, so if he wanted to be there to tackle.
He launches long and straight into the arms of Radical Air.
You see the frustration of Nick Larkey too. He was trying to make space in the pocket and they kicked it straight to his opponent. Nothing more frustrating as a key forward.
Gujardis edged out, but legally, Horn Francis left it behind initially. It's a little bit of heat.
Thanks, Jason. Tristan. Jordan.
Could have kicked a couple in the first term. Nick Larkey dropped a mark he'd normally swallow and then missed a set shot that he would normally kick.
Butters caught by Tucker. Crowd thought Rosie deserved the free. Edge out from Bergman was clever. Horn Francis, great core strength. Cut off though. Finn O'Sullivan got a hand on it. Kept in dispute. Darling caught. Parker, arms free, looped it back. Wardlaw, clever jab. So McKercher, pick 2 from 2023. And might be the young guns rather than the old guys to get them back into it.
His first kick of the day, he's only had the one hand pass. I reckon the worst thing you can do these days is put your arms up looking for a free kick. As soon as you do that, Rosie did it, the umpire didn't pay the free kick for holding, and he probably was being held.
I don't like being told what to do.
No, nor should they.
Probably asking you shall receive. Don't ask and you shall receive. McKercher, just what the doctor ordered. North get an early one.
Well, you felt for most of the first quarter they could have been closer to what they were on the scoreboard. Port, to their credit, just blew them out of the water in the last 7 or 8 minutes of that first quarter. But they've got off to a good start here and they've kicked the goal. Let's have a look how they got it. Wardlaw was good in tight. O'Sullivan was good there as well. Darling been super quiet. Parker continues on his good work. Could have had a shot there if he wanted to, Wardlaw, but chose the right option, laid it up to McKercher.
That'll do McKercher. The world of good too, give his confidence up. You can just see Burgoyne was having a bob each way, looking to get back if the ball was kicked to the square. Needed to take care of his man first. But McKercher's first kick, fortunately for him, gets North another goal.
Sherry knocked it down, but to the wrong guy. It's the trouble with the hit-out stat. Knocked it straight to Butters. Horn Francis, Burgoyne, a sizzler to Power Pepper. That's out of the training copybook.
And there you can see Burgoyne trying to get one back, running forward, dragging McKercher with him. But that's twice North have done that. I called it in the first quarter. It was Jack Darling who brought the ball straight down in the centre square. That time it was Sherry. But both times they've been beaten to the hit zone by the Port Adelaide midfield.
2 goals last week against Sydney for Sam Powell-Pepper. Different forward line with him in it and in form. Missed. North Melbourne have never won here at the Adelaide Oval. 12 times they've come here, 12 times they've lost. In fact, they've lost their last 14 trips to Adelaide in general. They've lost at Barossa and they've lost at Norwood as well. So it's 0 from 14 for them. They'll break that hoodoo. Sherry wins a free. Gives us some air. Larky's under it. 3 to beat. Means there should be an extra North man on the ground. Berry went hard. Caught from behind Sim. And cheese grated into the deck. He's going to have to pick the grass out of his teeth before he kicks this one.
He had him cold, but he's ridden him into the ground, hasn't he?
It wasn't deliberate though, was it? He just sort of had the momentum. It's very hard to fall to the side when you're doing it.
You've got to try and turn him when you're coming from behind, and he couldn't do that, unfortunately. And that would not have tickled. He will need an HIA, I suspect.
Yeah, that's a really good indication. The doctor and trainer will probably ask the umpires that they hold play here whilst he comes off, so play won't continue until he does come off, given it's a head injury. Picked 12 in 2021. This is 4th season, Josh Sin. First season of playing every game, so played every game this year. First season that he's held his spot. Starting to get some good form.
Yeah, so it's one of those where the arms are held and you can't protect yourself hitting the ground, but it wasn't a sling by any stretch of the imagination. It was just momentum that carried him forward.
So does it mean it's a dangerous tackle?
I don't think he's intention.
There was no intention.
No. You can't not tackle. He was there to be tackled, and sometimes it's difficult, no matter how hard you might try and keep your feet.
One of those a few years ago, Patrick Dangerfield trying to hold back
Yep.
in that tackle to stop that forward momentum, but it's difficult. Big pack on the wing. Lord Francis went hard at it, and they went hard at him. Good battle. Also on pace for maybe a first All-Australian jumper this season. Jason Vaughan Francis plays like a wrecking ball. Sin to get assessed, so we might not see him for 20 odd minutes now. Crew tried to knock on, Wines tried to throw on. LDU, Mead, Hardiman, Daniel, Water on the back pedal. Hard to kick on the back pedal, but he did pretty well. Simkin, manhandled, wins himself a free. Crowd don't agree.
They've been competitive, North Melbourne. It's just whether they've got the class to put the finishing touches on their good passages and their good moments.
Lucky front spot. I think Aaliyah just got a fist in time.
And probably the stamina to do it for a whole quarter or a whole match, Jase.
Good knock down to Luke Davies-Uniacke, hands it off to Powell. Quick on the boot. Great grab, Larky. Had a metre on Radicalea.
Laid in front, good strong hands. Now this one he will not miss.
Oh,
He doesn't miss two. He doesn't miss two regulation kicks.
very slow learner.
There's the routine. He squeezes the ball. He has claimed that some balls this year have been flat. So he needs to assess what it's like. And then he spins the ball 10 times. There we go.
Complete
Six
confidence.
steps in.
Complete confidence.
Oh,
I don't know where I go now. He's missed one each way by about as far as you could possibly miss from those positions.
you head downstairs, have a coffee, come back. Second half, still like Jason.
Where have those kicks come from?
It's hard to believe, but he has been, like last week, 1 goal from 4 kicks against Carlton. So leaned out the office last week as well.
Well, guys, I'm on ground level, not far from Larky when he took that, and he's just poking at the ball. He's not actually kicking through it as if he's kicking the ball from 50. He's
But
just,
that's what he always does,
he's
surely.
just poking at it.
That's his technique. That's his style. He chips the ball, but he chips it with unerring accuracy.
Darling, well, he might be the man. Darling's been brought in to do this.
I'll go the other way, Dwayne. He's got no chance kicking.
First kick for the game, Dwayne.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, in some ways he's been brought in to help Nick Larky to draw dangerous defenders away. You know, not like a lot rodeo clown, but sort of to take a bit of the heat away so the hero can do his stuff. And he misses.
They're their own worst enemies, aren't they? And this must be frustrating for Alistair Clarkson. You put things in place and they've answered with their ability to be competitive. They're having a red-hot go, but they just will not reward themselves when they get the opportunities, and you don't get that payoff. You don't get that boost of confidence for doing so many things right by then hitting the scoreboard. They let themselves down.
Farrell long, almost to mark to Dawson. Ricochet back to him. Pretty good for your fill form, Callan Dawson. He's playing on a one-year deal. They're picked 2 in the 2022 mid-season draft. So a big opportunity for him getting a game and maybe establishing himself in this back line, keep his spot, get a contract. Lyons ran in head first to Sherry.
And that's a headlock too that will need to be
He got done for holding the ball there. And Ollie might be 50 here. He's not giving the ball back. So he got a knock to the head, didn't get the free, had one against him, and then didn't get the ball back. So triple whammy for Ollie.
Just have to kick it now.
Yeah, you heard the umpire say, well, he put his head down. There's nowhere for just a Cherry to go. So a third gilt-edged opportunity in the last few minutes to hit the scoreboard for North.
All-Australian contender last season. Been beaten a couple of times this year. To the booze, Tristan Cherry does what a couple of the others couldn't do.
Yeah, it's a fine line when you duck the head, isn't it? Do you put yourself in a dangerous position? Do the players in the way have to stop? Let's have a close look at this one.
What's your decision, Ruth?
You know what? I'd probably ball it up there. But, you know, I've had a chance of a replay. I can see what the umpire's doing. I can see it being paid the other way as well. It's one of those grey spots in footy. Certainly don't want to be putting your head in a position where you can get a serious injury, whether you're going for a free kick or not. I just don't think it's a smart thing to do.
Just in the replay here on the big screen. Crowd have. I think the last 2 goals of the game now, North, back to 17 points.
They're a second quarter team, Dwayne. They've won 4 of 6 second quarters. They go very well in Q2.
Love it. See if they can continue. Parker jumps on with Powell.
Go this way again. Ollie, Jack.
And North do, you feel like they know they're back in this game. Mead wrapped up.
Stay this side.
Powell. Possession total maybe not the number 1 gauge of his game, Tom Powell. Highest possession game last year was 34 against Geelong. He didn't get a coach's vote. There's been games where he's played well in lower possession games this year. They need him to stand up, and here he is on cue. Flicks it to McKercher. Urban, taken to the deck by Tucker. Crowd found voice. Jones buries his head in Darcy Byrne. Jones from the scramble, umpires found something. Free kick North.
Well, shoes will have high contact in, but they can ball all they like, but not the umpire's fault if the ball's touched off the boot. Can he go back and kick it from outside 50?
He's kicking into a little bit of breeze. Just a little bit, but it should be sheltered by that Riverbank stand.
Had 32 possessions in the loss to Carlton last week, the most of any North player. He sends it to the pocket. Darling and Jones collide. Jones slow to get up. Instead he caught. Jones still on hands and knees. So will they stop play here due to that maybe being a head injury as well? It's okay. Good spot for a ball up here for North. Darling, Wines. Wines beats him. Dangerous spot to kick to. Richards. Radaglia. It's an outside defensive 50 for a race. Powell Pepper, good collect. Turns on Powell. Gets back pedals on him. Rosie running off half back. He He mesmerised them all there. He drew 3 of them. Oh, spear pass to Georgiades. You can feel that through your speakers at home. You've got the best seat in the house enjoying this tight contest now that North Melbourne, with the only 2 goals of this second term, have played their way back into it. Sheasel a toe poke off the deck. Simpkin, after an initial fumble, got a kick, but here's Rosie. Thumps it. Georgiades got there. Crowd thought there was a bit of mayo from Tom, but after... And they just sent a replay of the mayo. Mitch Georgiades.
This is where you can punish North Melbourne, who've missed some pretty regulation chances by threading one from the boundary here.
Which kick is he going to choose here? And the drop punt. Georgiades hits the post.
She glanced the inside of the post too. He was just about celebrating.
He used a bit of body language. The body English sometimes does get the ball to move in the air, doesn't it? You turn your body. Maybe not. Good game.
You try everything you can, Brian.
You do. Caleb Daniel, who, by the way, will play his 200th game next week. This is game 199. 200th next week against Essendon at Marvel. 192 games with the Dogs, of course. Butters flies, can't mark. Parker in game 300 to Stevens, who pumps it down the line. Jones, crunch, drop back with the flight of the ball. Zerha, who was crunched early. Bergman, Zerha, Constanti, it's in there somewhere. Simpkin, good fight. Constanti jumped on. Simpkin not happy. Comes in and says, calm it down, boys. Constanti couldn't be able to convince the umpire it was worthy of a free. Flung in the air.
A bit going on off the ball. There's a bit of feeling out there. Been some heavy collisions.
Simpkin just seen Butters on top of a couple of players. He's been trying to pull him off there, so that's all it is.
They were 29 points down at quarter time, North. They haven't white flagged it at all. Never won here at the Adelaide Oval, so they can make their own history and change their season. They're coming off 4 losses in a row. Wide, slick. Sheasel. And Stanley couldn't keep it alive.
Let's go down to Sean Burgoyne. Have we got any info on Josh Sin? Is he up from the HIA yet?
No, he's still up to having his concussion test with the doc. And Jeremy Finlayson just doing some run-through warm-ups just in case he gets the call. But I'll keep a close eye on it.
Finlayson, one of the ins. Joe Richards and Joe Berry also in for Port. It's their 3 changes from last week. Burgoyne bobbles it away, and that'll work. Rioli, front spot on Archer. And goes quickly to open space. Georgiades. Got a palm on it. Been hunted down by Dawson. Beat him. Push.
Oh, he's paid in the back.
Yeah.
Was it in the back or in the side?
Yeah, depends on who you back for on that one.
He didn't realise it was his then, Georgiades.
Oh.
I think he's in range if he wants to have a shot. It's a beautiful kick of the footy. He should go back.
The pocket. And maybe not.
Strange decision to kick to a small 1-on-3 in the pocket. So is he pushing in the back or in the side? Half and half, isn't it?
Yep.
Maybe the number, hand on a number is a giveaway for the umpire.
Thought he should have been a little bit more selfish then and just had the shot.
Agree with you, Chase. There's not enough selfishness in players these days. Take the responsibility.
Yep, he's a big booming kick.
They're paid for.
And I get passing it if the bloke in the pocket's all on his own. Get 3 players around.
Had Lord one out in the goal square. Sweet. Maybe tipped his toe with it. Donald tipped his toe on it. Richards attacks it. Curtis attacks him. And Jones attacks Curtis. In the back.
Oh, wow. They're having a good run at the moment, North. They need to take advantage of it.
Down the spine they travel. Davies Uniac, Sheasel, Curtis, bang! Cut in half by Drew. Farrell on the way back again, Port. Butters, Burgoyne, Reese down low, Mead. He could go all the way home. Goal square, Georgiades.
Oh, why would you want to coach? You've got control of the football.
Plays off quickly. Gee, got that in the air.
She hit the wrong side of the ball.
Wow. Stayed in play. Archer. There's a wasted opportunity. Boreas.
He went to snap it left foot around the corner and he hit the wrong side of the ball and it went in the opposite direction that was intended. We are seeing everything today. But they had control of the ball north in the middle of the ground and a poor hand pass. All of a sudden they should have had a goal kicked against them.
Boreas caught.
Both the key forwards are missing them, aren't they?
Constanti, did he duck into that or did he win one for high?
Yeah, Larky and Georgiades not getting the job done in front of the goals.
Stephen tried to get away, was stripped. Umpire said made an attempt. Horn Francis. Lord, 1-2, not the third. Pepper knew what he wanted to do, just didn't take the Sharon. Archer caught up. Rioli pounces. Powell Pepper got on the boot. Got a push in the back free. They'll take the shot from the top of the square. Crowd now realising that. Deep breaths. Port Adelaide's first goal of the 2 goals. He's kicked that into Coleman. This is as bizarre as it gets.
I've never seen so many regulation goals missed in a short space of time.
And it's not like he had to get that close.
He kicked it so low.
Wow. Lorca up. Horn Francis to stop the rock. The Hornet slots it.
And then they kick one that probably shouldn't be kicked. In the middle of traffic, he finds a way. Jason Horn Francis to kick a beauty. 450 stoppages. You hate them. They should have had a goal earlier. Have a look at this. He goes around the corner and hits the wrong side of the ball. Look at it. Look at his disgust. Absolute disgust. Then Powell Pepper from point blank. He must think Charlie Comben's going to disappear.
And then the Hornet says, well, third time lucky.
It's a good kick because he was getting pushed as he kicked it too. A little bit of class to get the job done.
That's a lesson for kids as well, with Coleman putting his hands up on the mark.
Yeah.
Never give it up.
He's a tall man, also a lesson for Powell Pepper.
Yes.
Maybe kick it higher than 6 foot off the ground.
That's a very good point.
That's their first goal for the quarter, Port.
Yeah. 24 points. North still winning the quarter though. Jason said, second terms are their best. 2 rucks collide. Drew. Horn Francis. Berry. Constanti. Flicked it out. O'Sullivan. Wardlaw with the strength. And the shot. Short Zaha. Darling with the muscle. Parker. It's my party. I'll let fly if I want to. Great goal in game 300 for Luke Parker.
Well, he's having a big game, isn't he?
Yep.
13 disposals, 1 goal, 1. He's been good.
Wardlaw should have given a hand pass running inside 50. Rude decided to take
Well,
it himself.
he was
has
running-
an option.
he
He has
was
the
running a
option
goal, though.
inside. He gives that, and LDU has a shot. He can't believe he didn't give it.
Yeah, well done by Darling here. Just a bit of strength. Gave the handball away under pressure. Parker did the finish. 3 goals in the quarter for North. They're back in it.
Here we go.
Huge 6 minutes coming up here to half time.
sense a little bit of frustration with the crowd. North battling hard. They can get the next one. Really put some pressure back on Port.
Swoop with a big fist, but right to O'Sullivan. To look, Davey Uniac, crunch. Hal Pepper hunted him down. Berry with the spear pass. Through hands, Darcy Byrne-Jones went for the miracle. Still a chance, Made! Got it through. It's goal, for goal, for goal.
Richards got the foot to it right at the end. Back from Gastro from last week. Good little goal. Just to keep the distance, 24 points now. Second goal for the quarter. A pretty goal by any stretch. Let's have a look at it. Darcy Byrne-Jones just keeps it alive, keeps it moving forward.
So whose boot here, Mead or?
Might have been Richards, I think. Whatever way. Obviously a goal for Port, but
Oh yeah, it was Richards.
Richards second. Mead hit it first, and then he just got the toe to it after. He's claimed it.
Yeah. Good contest.
They'll argue about that in the showers after the game.
Holding, North Melbourne.
Holding free North's way. Sheasel quickly off half back. Down the spine he travels to Parker. Could be a difference maker.
Yep, they settle him down, take the shot, take the responsibility. He's having a day in game number 300.
He's always been a handy forward, hasn't he?
He's just so strong,
Good one-on-one.
Special 300 boots on as well.
Over 200 goals.
Have the old legs got the journey.
Goal line. Stayed in play for a second. That's hit the post.
That's a better result. A better result for North. The ball in than a behind being kicked. Set up for a stoppage.
And it just shows the importance of having the perfect run-up, doesn't it?
Hey guys, while that's going on, Jeremy Finlayson's just been subbed onto the field and he's just come on at centre half forward, so Josh Hendricks should be subbed out.
It's bad luck for Sin after that heavy tackle.
He's played every game this year for the first time in his career, Josh Sin, and that is concussion for the reason that he's out. He'll miss next week as well.
Ball touched the post. Can't tell from that angle.
Well, they can't use snicko of hands and touching the post at the same time as the ball. That's the reason they can't use the audio as an indicator.
Change the trajectory of the ball.
What's the soft call here? Is it out of play or behind?
Ball was out. Out of bounds.
Umpires are getting enough at the back from the crowd.
This might be a better angle.
That's the Port cheer spot. Not a good place to walk past.
No, I think there's a clear gap there, isn't there? Between the ball and the paddock. Throw it in, please, Wayne. You've waved long enough.
Oh, the crowd are seeming as if they're enjoying giving the umpire some advice. The point could be a big difference here.
Look at the angle.
Complete. Looking at these angles, there's insufficient evidence to determine if the ball hits the goal post before bouncing into the behind post. Decision on the scoreboard.
Puts it under the head there, Sherry. Hits his head sideways.
So it'll be no score ball in for North. Umpire's call was it didn't hit the post, so that's the call we'll go with again. Normally you can use snicko for the ball hitting a goal post, but not when there's arms and legs hitting it at the same time. They'll see if this works in North's favour. They could still get a goal out of it. Sherry, Sweet. Oh, Sweet nearly won a free. Sherry nearly got it from the umpire as well.
Gee, they pay that plenty of times.
Yep.
Sin is out with concussion as well, just been confirmed.
Yeah, so he will miss next week, and depending on whether he passes all the protocols.
Let's hope it's a mild one.
Yeah.
But he's okay.
Simpkin caught. 24 points the margin. It was 29 at quarter time. North looking to win for the first ever time at the Adelaide Oval.
That's exactly what happened a moment ago the other way, and this one they found.
Also been a good pick-up, Jordan Sweet.
Great pickup.
Heads wide, Georgiades. As you like your forwards to do, come down and grab one every now and then at half back. And he launches long. Finlayson just on. Ball fell to the back. Me. He got it from Richards this time. He's giving him one back. Heads to the goal square. Hits a good spot. Crunch. Hits the deck. From the scramble, McDonald torps it out, but it'll be coming back. Georgiades, who owes him one. Paul Francis. Hands it off to Farrell. And caught from behind. Curtis was awake up to it brilliantly.
Yeah, exactly. We say it so often that players aren't awake to it. He was spot on there.
Tripped up behind him with those pink hush puppies. Didn't hear him coming. Wide ball. Maybe too wide for Zerha. Ball in.
He still hasn't touched the footy, Cam Zerha. Struggling to get into the contest. Curtis up to 10. He's kicked a goal. We've seen him cover plenty of territory. Great defensive chase there.
Good bat on the right, Jerry. A piece of it. Lee overcooked the handball. We're going to mop that mess up. Wardlaw hunts him. On thrust, going the wrong way. Good mark taken by LDU. Davies Uniac's on the long-term 7-year extension. 1.3 mil a year. Got a few North players are sticking around, signing the long-term deals, which is good news. Lucky one of them.
The ball dropped short a few times going that way into that breeze. Going to take front spot. There's plenty happening behind. Play to off ball. Curtis and Jones were going at it.
Wardlaw. Cherry get a run at it. It's a bit lucky to go at it through the hands of Radicalea. Players looked at each other to see who was going. Joe Berry, game 6. They're pick 15 from last year's draft.
Just feel if they can get one more before the break, North, they'll really fancy their chance of getting right back into the contest.
Leah just got a handball away in time. 2 young guns head-to-head. O'Sullivan was about to have a win.
Did everything right, just fumbled the pickup. Took his eyes off it, had it spent before he had clean possession.
Yeah, he hasn't quite been as potent the last couple of games as he was early. 10 possessions against Carlton last week, the lowest in his 5 games so far. Both eligible for the Rising Star this year, Berry and O'Sullivan. Good tackle late and ball up. Christian Moraes, another one from last year's draft, pick 38, 2024. So prohibitive contact in the goal square. Against Jones.
I did say there's a bit going on between these two. If it's Curtis, the recipient, they've been at each other non-stop. And he's obviously just pushed it a little too far. Curtis should be able to kick the goal. This is the one North desperately want. Big last couple of minutes before the main break.
Having a huge season, Paul Curtis.
And good again today, won't.
Crowd booing him. PC, well that's not PC here at the Adelaide Oval. Port fans unhappy. He squeezed it through and North born truly alive.
After he kicked it, he went and told Robert Jones about it too. So there's a little bit of feeling in this one. There's been some bumping and some niggling off ball. And you heard the umpire call prohibitive contact. So sometimes you just lose your cool to go a little bit too far. Keep your eye bottom of screen, right in the middle. A bit of push and shove. There's a little high push. Oh, the one in the back. He goes to ground, he gets pinged.
Little shush as well from Paul Curtis. The crowd have just seen the replay. They don't agree with it. Game on. margin after it was 29. Huge couple of minutes coming up to half-time. Powell squeezed it through. Simpkin got it up. Wardlaw. Spear pass, pretty good. Darling just up the way last second. McKercher. Grant thought he had too long. Wardlaw squeezed his way through them. Goal square, Larky. Got it.
Wow, this is big.
Big Nick in the nick of time. 90 seconds left. Slams it home.
Oh, this is great from North Melbourne. They've put the foot down. They've sensed an opportunity and they've hit the scoreboard big time. It's a great contested mark from Larky. He's had a little bit of trouble with his set shots tonight, so he decided, I'm just going to play on. I can't miss from a metre out. McKercher able to get a boot on the ball, which is why he wasn't pinged. And it wasn't necessarily the best of kicks from Wardlaw going in, but that's a great contested mark. That's the little kick, the little toe poke from McKercher. And here's the big contested mark from Larky. This is a man that's missed a couple. He shanked a couple. He said, I cannot miss from there. And all of a sudden, the scoreboard tells a very, very different story to what it did 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Here's a little bit of anger, a little bit of nasty, which is good for the game. Well, if the AFL's gone all Jackie Moon on us, everybody love everybody. Not the case right now on this one. Wardlaw squeezes the kick forward. Time for another one. No nudge out on Darling. Jones. Part of the seas. Lines. Finlayson comes down. Punched away. Drew. Crunched. Couldn't get it away. Comben. Caught. Inside 50. Race on. Darling Aaliyah. Aaliyah takes on the old guy and then loses. Kicks out on the full.
Yeah, she does funny things. He won the race.
McKercher inside to Zerha. Sends it up. Lucky. Got there. Couldn't bring it down. Lines. Daniel. Darling. Curtis. Wanted the high contact. Didn't get it. Umpire's found a free spot. Adelaide's one is that 50.
Yeah, against Larky. That's a bad one to give away. It was a throw from Curtis, I think. Didn't quite get the ball out after looking for the high contact. I think Larky should know better than just booting that one.
Port Adelaide will have time for a kick inside 50 and a mark, maybe a crumb.
So I think 20 seconds to defend here for North Melbourne. Do not want to concede this one.
Joe Berry goes wide.
Yeah, maybe they get a chance here. In fact, they're just going to wind the clock down, Paul.
That's bizarre.
It is interesting when you have an opportunity to go forward and really be the only team with a chance of scoring.
So a very defensive, non-aggressive last 15 seconds from Port, but maybe that tells you they're a little bit nervous, the home team.
That does. I don't think the fans enjoyed it either.
29 points was the margin at quarter time. It's back to 12. 2-goal game. North Melbourne never won here at the Adelaide Oval. Are they about to change that? Don't go anywhere. Half-time, Adelaide Oval. Anzac appeal round continues. And it's 9-5 to 7-5.
Well, folks, have a look at the scoreboard. We didn't expect this. Good job, North Melbourne. You got this. Hey, Benji, how you going, Mark? Good to see you back in, bro. I tell you what, North Melbourne, 5 goals, 1 in that second term. That's more likely when you put your kicking boot on. When you put your kicking boot on, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. 2 goals, 2 to Port Adelaide in that term. Tell you what, it was a strange effort. They were just missing goals, etc. like that. Sam Powell-Pepper, he missed one from the top of the square, kicked it into the, the man on the mark. You don't often see that. Jub, 9,000, go Power. I tell you what, it's going to be an interesting game. It's definitely who wants this more, who's going to take their opportunities when it comes to them. It's going to be a fantastic game. We'll get back to the commentators for their analysis not too far away. We're just going to have a look at the goal scorers and the stats for the players. But there we go, top of the table. There's only 2 multiple goal scorers on the ground. Of course, one from each team. Of course, North Melbourne, Paul Curtis kicking 2 for the Kangaroos. Tristan Xera a single. Tom Powell. Luke Parker in his 300th gets one. Colby McKercher, Nick Lakey also gets a single for Port Adelaide. Darcy Byrne-Jones with 2. Connor Rose, Willie Rioli, Joe Richards, Sam Powell-Pepper with single. Sam Powell-Pepper should have had 2. My gosh, if you see that, you'll go, what? Just like I did, and everyone on the ground thought. Ollie Lord also a single with Jason Horn-Francis and Mitch Georgiadis. A lot of goal scorers there for Port Adelaide, sharing the ball around nicely, but topping the table. On the disposal count, of course, for Port Adelaide is Jason Horn-Francis on 16. Who got Ruse? I was actually preparing dinner, so I didn't quite see who got the ruse going, but I'm sure it was either Snizzle or Wardle. They're their 2 guns. They're the ones that usually get the Kangaroos up and firing. Of course, and Parker's having a good game there for the Kangaroos. He's up to 14. The old boy, the 300 game player, he's 14 disposals for the Kangaroos, 9 and 5. Kicked 1 goal, 1 with the clearance. They're going all right. But Jason Horn-Francis leads the way with 16 on the ground. Zach Butters, 15, both for Port Adelaide. And, of course, Ollie Wines. Ukanaki, he's up to 13 there for the Roos. George Wardle, tell you what, he's a star for the Kangaroos. You got to like the way he plays. I think if he was in, not taking anything away from North Melbourne, but if he was in one of the top sides, he would get attention, like say Paddy Cripps or Bonton Pally, one of those players. He's a star. There we go. Sneasel up to 10. Georgiadis on 10 also for the Power. Let's roll down. Sam Powell-Pepper, one of my favourites there for Port Adelaide. He's on 8, 4 and 4. 4 marks also, 1 goal, 1. So he's having a pretty good game. As I said, I like the way he goes about his game. Nick Lakey just on the 5. Willie Rioli is still a little bit slow there for Port Adelaide. 3 touches, 2 kicks, 1 handball, just the 1 goal so far, as is Jackson Archer. There we go. Can he replicate his father, Glenn Archer? Well, I'm not sure. It hasn't really come to fruition yet. He's only had the 3 touches. All right, let's head back down to the ground. We'll have a look at the team stats in just a moment.
Disposals. He's had 4 clearances as well and a goal. He's been on fire.
Yeah, he's worked really well with Butters, hasn't he, around the stoppage. It's explosiveness away from the stoppage. There he's kicking the ball inside 50 to Lord. And you can see there his speed around the contest. He gets there and able to close out the tackle. And it's the ferociousness around the stoppage which he's hitting it really fast.
What's it like when you play against your old club?
Well, you got something extra in the bonnet, don't you? You want to prove something. There's some guys out there you'll still be friends with, so it's just a little extra pep in your step. And there's that snap after a couple of misses.
I said at the start of the game, you could tell in the first 5 minutes if he's going to be on or not. And he was certainly on today. Let's also have a look at the Curtis tackle that happened and caused the concussion for Josh Sin. There's Curtis. Had a great first half. Could come under a little bit of a watch for this tackle. He didn't mean it.
He didn't mean it. No, when you're coming behind a player as fast as you are, you're chasing him down, you're just trying to tackle him to the ground. You're not really thinking of that. In saying that, Josh Sin does have a concussion, so they will look at it.
They'll look at it. I'll be surprised if he gets a game. It's extremely hard to do what he did there. Coming from behind with full intensity. You've got to try somehow to fall to the side, but you can't always do it. He's had a big first half, Paul Curtis.
Well, and here we go. Here's North Melbourne stats that we see there. They're inside 50s last week. They were minus 25. They're plus 1 at half time here. So they're giving their forwards a chance for it.
Well, have a look at the centre clearance as well. Smashed against Carlton, plus 2 in the centre clearances. So they're giving their forwards a bit of use. Contested possessions, plus 11 today after minus 19 last week. They're right in this game, North Melbourne here. They're only 12 points down, Sean.
Well, there are. We're in and around the stoppage, so they're winning the clearances and the contested possession. That's a mindset. So they obviously had some hard truths spoken to them during the week. So that's just around the stoppage, working harder than the opposition.
Yep, well, they would have a sniff. They've been on the ropes for the last 3 games. They've been really disappointing. Their first 3 games of the year were very good. but at the moment they are bounced back and they're going to take it right up against Port Adelaide here at Adelaide Oval. More in the third quarter after a short break. Port Adelaide by 12 points.
All right, while they're after a break, we will have a little bit of a look at some of the team stats. Hopefully they're not going to be too far away while I'm having something to eat here. There we go. Addy G, what's going on, Squire? Hope you're enjoying the football. We have, don't forget, coming up after this game, folks, we have one of the great battles, one of the great rivalries here now in the AFL, and of course that's the GWS Giants taking on the Western Bulldogs. That's going to be an absolute classic game. That's going to be a fiercely fought game up there in Canberra. Really looking forward to that. Let's just have a little bit of a look at the team stats. And of course, it's Port Adelaide plus 20, 160, 140. Both teams well under their stats season average. Port's average is 375, 376 North. Well, for half a game, they're really, really low. Kicks, well, it's just Port Adelaide by 4. Handballs plus 16. Inside 50s, both teams getting good opportunity in there, which is great to see. 26 inside 50s for Port Adelaide. 14 scoring shots, so that is great effort by them. Scoring more than once every 2 times they're going in. Fantastic. As with North Melbourne, scoring reasonably well when going in. Only 27 inside 50s and they've kicked 7 goals. You've got to like that if you're a North Melbourne supporter with the 12 scoring shots there. Disposal efficiency, though, Port Adelaide a little bit higher there. North Melbourne's, well, it's quite low for this half of the game. They'll be looking to lift that up, be a little bit cleaner with the ball, stop those fumbles, etc., and get all the passes, etc., correct there. Efficiency inside 50, both teams going well there, above average. Free kicks, umpires having a field day out there. Some games they just love blowing that whistle. I don't know. They're just the ticky-touch ones. I say let them play, let them play. Some of the other games, they let them play. In the big games, you got to love that. That certainly gets the crowd fired up as well, even more. 10 to 15, the away side, 5 more free kicks. I certainly think the Port Adelaide fans wouldn't be too happy with that. The hit-outs, North Melbourne, plus 3 there. Clearances, they're doing a great job here, North Melbourne. Plus 6 in the clearances, plus 2 in the centre clearances. And, of course, stoppage clearances around the ball, plus 4 North Melbourne. I've got to be very happy with the way that's going there. Contested possessions, well, there we go. Contested possessions, North Melbourne going hard at the ball, 70 to 58. They're plus 12 there. The uncontested, just that little bit more of a control with Port. The bit of chipping, the 98-66, plus 32 there. Turnovers, I mean, this is another good aspect. It's a very low turnover game, which means they're delivering their ball well to their player. There we go. That just having a little bit of a look at the marks now. 37-26. Well, it's low as well. I can't understand why these figures are so low on some of these. But the marks inside 50, they're up. The marks inside 50. That is impressive. 11 up or half time for Port Adelaide and 8 for the Kangaroos when they've only got a season average of 10. So they're nearly on their average there. And, of course, North Melbourne, the contested marks leading the way there, 4-2. Just looking at the tackles now. Port Adelaide, of course, bringing the heat there today. Look at their average, folks. 52.8 is their season average for tackles per game. They're already up to 49. This is what was making it hard for North Melbourne. Just the pressure that Port Adelaide were putting on them. But North Melbourne were able to get off that chain a little bit and score in that second term, which is good. 32 tackles for North Melbourne. They're going above season average, so they're going to be very happy with that. And look at the pressure here, folks. Look at the tackles inside 50, pressure from both sides. Oh, you got to like this. This is why this game is still well and truly alive, 12-10. Both teams above their season average already. What a fantastic, fantastic effort. This is still anyone's game. It's only 2 goals in it. All right, let's head back to the commentators. They're going to give us a little bit of a spiel. They might be talking a little bit about the Brisbane game. I'm not sure. Let's go down there and let's have a
Defence after copping a bit of a hiding last Thursday night versus Collingwood, who are now premiership favourites, 52 points beaten on their home patch, and they came out and did an absolute number early on the Saints defensively. The Saints, the worrying signs for me are last week in the first half, 11 inside 50s. This week, 19. So not much going right early in games for St Kilda offensively.
What did it say more about the Lions or the Saints this afternoon?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? And, I think when you come up against a high-quality side like Brisbane, you can't afford to get a lot wrong. And they were just too easy to move the ball against. I mean, you talk about the flat inside 50 number, but how do you get an inside 50? You've either got to win it at clearance and get the territory that way, or you've got to lock it in. They did neither. If you look at the inside 50s at half time, 35 to 18, and of their 18, they only got, I think, half a dozen from stoppage. So there's half a dozen from repeats and 7 from stoppage. So there's a real problem there in terms of the system. So they got belted up, and it was Lachie Neale that had 7 scoring. He had 14 touches in the first half, 7 of them went on the scoreboard. So once they won the ball, they couldn't win it back. So I think that's a real concern for Ross Lyon. How are you winning the ball back and where? And I think Lachie Neale and co just go, well, we took what was on offer and made them look silly.
Yeah, look, I think Chris Fagan to be happy tonight. The fact that they were beaten comprehensively last week, that they're back on the winners list and playing relatively good footy. I reckon they've sort of falsified their way through the first month, just winning off belief. They haven't been starting games well, so to start well tonight from a Brisbane point, this afternoon, sorry, from a Brisbane point of view, is good. Alarm bells for me for St Kilda. Just looking at their list, like if I was a Saints supporter driving to Marvel Stadium, would have thought today was the chance that maybe they could have knocked off a side that's had the wood over them over the last 8 times.
There's a fair gap in talent though when you look at these two lists.
Yeah, there is, but these are like we saw St Kilda take down Geelong in a masterclass coaching performance from Ross. And I had a little bit of belief that maybe we would have seen something like that today against the Lions side that has been wounded and was wounded last week, that they were there for the picking. And unfortunately, St Kilda couldn't get it done, and they couldn't get it done from the start, bar sort of 15 minutes in that third quarter where they really started to get their game up and going off the back of one of their superstars in Isaiah Wanganeen-Milera. So I look at that and go, is he their only weapon at the moment? And I know, King, you're really big on this, and we'll pick through it a little bit later on, that where are their weapons?
I think their weapons are on the edges. That's the problem. While they build a midfield that can actually go head to head with the quality of McCluggage and Neale and then Zorko rolling around the edges of stoppage. I just think there's a distinct class gap. I didn't expect St Kilda to win today. I didn't expect them to be in the game. They fought the second half out quite strongly, so there's upside there, but the game was lost very early.
Yeah, I just think with the Brisbane Lions midfield depth, it was always going to be such a tough ask for the Saints today. We are back to Adelaide Oval next for the second half, and then tonight, get the popcorn ready, the Giants and Bulldogs live from the nation's capital.
second half for him. What have you made of it, Roo? What do you think will happen next?
Well, they had a real run at them late in that second quarter. The last 8 inside 50s, all North Melbourne. The last 2 goals, contested possessions with 10-5, clearances 4-0, all in that last 10 minutes. So if they can keep that going, we've got a ball game.
Well, we mentioned the second quarter's been North Melbourne's best all year, but games of football aren't won in a quarter. You've got to play 4 or at least 3 to get the result. You heard Elsie Clarkson talking about how disappointing the first quarter was. They did it in the second quarter, but he said, we've got to do it again, because if we don't, we'll be in all sorts of trouble. That's the challenge.
In the game last week against Carlton till half-time. Huge opportunity for their first ever victory north at the Adelaide Oval and to get their season back on track. Started the round 17th, 1 win, 5 losses. And the ball up, Stevens gets there. Parker is enjoying his milestone game. Hammers it to Curtis, who's been good. Jones rides him, slaps it, stays in, and then kicked out by Darcy Byrne-Jones.
He just got tanked for it. He was only about half a metre from the boundary.
Almost a default now. If you kick it off the ground and it goes out, then the umpire's saying you should have picked it up and done something better with it. Stevens to a 6-pack. Moraes, handball smothered, gets it back. Jones spent that before he'd earned it. That's kind of the case at Port Adelaide. They've not been as slick in the second term as they were in the first.
Guys, just looking at Jeremy Finlayson, who's come on as a sub. He's gone forward, so he's 197 centimetres. He's got Luke McDonald at 189 on him. Big mismatch in height, so it'll be interesting to see how that one goes.
Yeah, good call, Sean. Out. Sheasel slick. There is McDonald on cue. Back to Sheasel. It's a pretty good spot with the kick. Big fist. Thumps it back towards Darcy Byrne-Jones, stolen by Parker. Back to Sheasel. Back to half forward. Back to the leapers. Rosie.
They need a better contest there. Just a little bit haphazard. The bomb kicks forward for North. Need to use the ball a little bit better.
Francis. A bit more cautious at the moment. Christian Moraes, game 6.
Paul Curtis just went to ground off the ball from Rioli. Don't know if he was faking it or he actually got a knock.
Just got to push. Just got to shove.
Rioli goes and gets it. Chipped into the pocket. That's the leading pocket for Port most weeks. Darcy Byrne-Jones squeezed it, and Daniel Brown wanted sufficient Ted, but he won't get it for that.
It couldn't possibly. I think he just gives a shove in the back to Curtis. After the mark was taken, Rioli goes, that was weak, and he flopped. Looking for the free kick.
Back into play. Sweet. Sherry. Got it, and then was got. LDU spins out of a jam. Got free, got it away. Howe. Handoff was good. The run's good from Dawson. O'Sullivan. Lucky. Really held his ground but couldn't hold the mark. Lear. A lot of places to go.
Well done.
Took it out.
Well done, McLark. He gave a good contest, 1 against 2. And importantly, he kicked his feet so he's able to back it up, put the pressure on. And in the end, Lear wanted that boundary. So they get the set up, stoppage in the forward half of the ground.
Hasn't dominated today, Lear. 6th in the AFL this year for contested marks. 3rd in the AFL for intercept marks. But hasn't been dominant in the air today as he has been so often this season. As Horn Francis can't keep it alive. Mentioned 6th for contested marks. That's behind Sam Darcy and Sam Taylor, who are 1 and 2, as we see a little bit of a push and shove again.
Yeah, they've been going at it, often starting next to each other at stoppages, and he's getting a little upset, Horn Francis, and I'll tell you what, Luke Parker won't take a backward step.
In North, it's such a bad case to rattle because he can give a free away. Jones. Galea. Try to have the backwards kick a bit of thought. Ups it down the line. Georgiades from 3 deep. Hit well.
I just get the feeling if they get enough supply, he can really do some damage.
Launched it to where he'd like to be. Got Lord down there and Stevens made it his own. Aggressive. Connor Rosie read it to perfection. Is that 50? Crowd scream for it, don't get it. Wow. Puts it up long. Lord can't get a run at it. Got a hand on it. Georgiades on the run. Floats it wide out on the full.
Finding a bit of the ball, but he's missed a couple completely. Kicked 1 goal, 1. Had five shots a goal already.
He's got 1-1 as well, and he's missed a couple of penalties.
Turnover.
And there's no real win to speak of.
Crowd 150 again, don't get it. Darcy Byrne-Jones. Dawson can't knock it away. Byrne-Jones squeezes it to the pocket. Finlayson, little nudge out. Got away with it. LDU against the grain. Rioli touched it, it'll be play on. Darcy Byrne-Jones didn't hear the call. Sherry didn't hear the call. Could have wrapped him up. Turns it over. Straight to Caleb Daniel. Bizarre. Daniel put on the grass to Parker. Maybe part of the plan to get it back and get another touch. And then he puts it out on the full. Two horrific possessions.
Which is just that's unusual for him playing. And we were right behind the kick. Got no idea what he was trying to do.
And a bit of a whipping boy for North fans as well. Farrell. Radigalia. Aaliyah.
A good right back, everyone behind the footy. The North.
Bergman. And now sets it up for the Leapers. A couple of sets of hands. Butters across the face, and that's on the full. North get the possession. Roger Bull. Jackson Archer. Good to have him back. Suspension. 3 games out. Heads wide. No mark. Yes, it is a mark to Radigalia. Defensive rugby contract to go with it. To Rosie. Oh, he got one from Larky late.
And they're going to pay it too.
Did affect the kick. So it can't be downfield because downfield's in row 3.
I think he just continued on with the tackle, didn't he? Probably when he didn't need to.
So it was downfield where it went out of play. Now Darcy Byrne-Jones told to go, slips. It's getting weirder by the second. Daniel, and he deliberately takes it out.
We've seen some weird things in this game already, haven't we? It's only a half of football old.
Even when you think you know, you never know what's going to happen in this beautiful game of ours. Never seen it all. The 2 rucks do the dance. Parker gave it up. O'Sullivan back inside, hoping for Simpkin. Drew was wearing him like a glove. On Francis. Moonwalks his way away from traffic. Found some space. Farrell can launch it. Heads goal square. Finlayson's there. Couldn't mark it. Daniel tried to knock over. That worked well. Stevens back to Daniel. Not required. Dawson spanks it away. On Francis!
What about the way Mead just softened his landing perfectly? It was like he was sitting on a chair.
Sends it to the pocket. Who's going to fly here? Finlayson from 3 deep. Sheasel. Butters. Centering kick. Goal square. Zerha made the commitment. Didn't mark it. Oh, he put it back.
Close to
Too slick from Richards.
a little bit of frustration out there.
Yeah. Cherry.
Still, that next goal's pretty important all of a sudden.
Yep. Absolutely. If you've just joined us, neither team's kept a goal in this third term. Port did lead by 29 points at quarter time. Larky Radigalia. Rosie. Arms free. Dropped the tackle. Gave it to Jones. Dangerously out wide. Hal Pepper mopped it up. Berry. Bergman. Crowd screaming for him to kick it along. Hal Pepper goes for the tumble punt. Might still work. Dawson made sure it didn't. Back to Archer. McDonald. Spins out of a jam. Makes it Sheasel's problem. Didn't hold him long enough, or did he?
They paid the mark.
They did play the night. He did control it. Brad unhappy. Harry. It's long. Jones the flyer. Got hands on. Can't mark it. Sweet. Thumps it. It was touched. Play on. Lord. Coleman. Daniel. Wardlaw a double grab. Core strength shrug. Down to Dawson. Wrapped up by Georgiani's. Crowd in full voice.
Keen to have a look at this stoppage. We heard Shawnee Burgoyne talking to Alistair Clarkson about stoppage and how well they're going. They've won 9 clearances in a row, North.
Parker rode the bump with Davies Uniac. Sherry. Straight up in the air. Not the required. The umpire said play on. Constanti thumped it out. Butters. Got to squeeze it through. Constanti picked it up. Sheasel. Wardlaw. It's been a good quarter for a scoreless quarter. Jones. Rosita mop it up. Curtis. Got him by the leg. Now, is that a trick or is that not fair and love and war?
One area that Port Adelaide hasn't been good in the past is the ground balls in the back line. Connor Rosie does make a difference back there. Quite often we've seen it again today, as he did just then, first on the scene.
Kurtja. Davies Uniac. Taken out.
So we're 10 clearances and counting. They just can't get their hands on the ball of the stoppage. Port Adelaide need to reassert themselves.
Umpire's getting more advice from over the fence. Big moment for Ken Hinkley as well. 13th and final season as Port coach. Josh Carr taking over at season's end. They've won their last 2 games, Port. Their season well and truly alive. If they can win this, they've come into this 10th at the start of the round. 3 wins, 3 losses. They can be better than 50-50 at the end of this game as Reza sends on Jason Horne-Francis. There is Ken, yet to coach Port to a grand final. Longest serving current coach without a grand final to his name. Drew. Round his body to half full. Al Pepper. 2 balls here in Archer. Wide ball, McDonald. Knows the boundary line's his friend. Kept it alive. Arterman's been pretty good. Not the required. How's DU? Why? Finlayson goal. Let's have a look at the Bunnings build-up.
All yours, Roo. You can explain this.
I'll try my best, but he just had so much time and couldn't make a decision. And as we said in the first quarter, quite often you just got to make a decision because it's only a matter of time before someone's going to hunt you down. Especially aside with Sam Powell-Pepper, he does it all the time, but just caught with it there, LDU. Just could not make a decision and then just got smashed. Big goal for Port Adelaide. Will that open the floodgates or will North fight back?
Checking out whether there's a 6-6 or 6 infringement here.
Yeah, Joe Richards just getting back into the forward line.
So Finlayson against Sherry here. Tristan Sherry with a bit of an advantage. Ruck experience and height. Wardlaw and Horne-Francis fight behind the umpire, which is dangerous. With Davies Uniac trying to make amends. Launches it. Calm bounce, ugly bounce. Depends on who you barrack for. Calm bounce for Darling. He couldn't quite pick it and go.
Well, Sherry's got to make the most of this advantage in the ruck. I'm not sure if he'll push right down. He looks like he's going to go in there, but he's got to hit the space here now. North should get on the bolt. Should be able to get the clearance or the hit out in front of Finlayson.
Almost grabbed there, Sherry. Took it out of the air. Kurtja. LDU hunted down again by Powell-Pepper, who decides to saddle him up.
Well, he's not recording in the forward 52. Yes. He'll be getting sick of the side of Sam Powell-Pepper.
Yeah, nightmare about him tonight.
Sherry. Good caught.
4 tackles for Powell-Pepper.
Gets up Holmley. Berry scrambles it away into space. Guy from Coleman didn't mark it. Play on. Over to Stevens, back to Sheasel. McDonald bangs it long. Zerha's in the spot. Larky got there. Play on, Aaliyah claimed it. Alelia on Francis gets under that. Tough one to grab. Big pack under it. Sheasel went and got it.
And 8 disposals already in the third quarter, Sheasel.
Larky from 4 deep, couldn't take the mark. Big fist. Berg on the slap down. Overcooked it to Richards. Berry knocked it. She's on hands and knees. O'Sullivan squeezed it out. Simkin wide. Parker ducked around a couple. Had the poise. Archer. Sheasel wreaking havoc. Gets it inside 50. Bergman flies. Left it to Zerha. He was the meat in the sandwich. And dropped it.
He never
He got the free.
Yeah, he never actually took possession. The ball spilled out, and then they continued on with the tackle. That's what the umpire saw. So he gets an opportunity here directly in front. Cam Zerha
has not had a shot at goal today. Let's have a look at if the free was there. He didn't have it.
Never actually got clean possession.
That's the difficult one. As when you're the tackler, you assume they've got it. So you have to keep going with it inside that spot. Otherwise, you let them run through for a goal. Look like a fall.
Gee, that missed them. They have kicked themselves out of it to a degree, North Melbourne. When you, I mean, it's not a huge number of behinds, but it's been the position from which they've kicked them. Regulation shots.
It's normally a pretty accurate kick as well. Cam Zerha from the kick in. Through a couple of sets of hands. Arden and Hassel by Mead. Ray Harden, drafted as a rebounding halfback. He was the WA Under-18s captain. A huge upside. This is his first game of 2024. 5 last year in his debut season. Finlayson still doing the ruck work. Powell tumbles it long. Almost lucky. Zerha with the miracle. The footy gods are messing with us.
Nearly kicked a miracle after missing a regulation set shot. Seen a couple of those. Jeremy Cameron on Easter Monday nearly kicked a miracle out of the air.
Georgiades kept it alive. No, he didn't.
Jeremy Jack.
It's tense. Then Hinkley on the boundary. Josh Carr up in the box. Working in tandem. Having their cake and eating at 2. Port Adelaide, they've got 1 for now and 1 for next year. Vaughan Francis to half forward. Comben. Almost. Lord. Georgiades. Hunted down. Got a kick. A trickler. Daniel a hand on it. Hardiman. She's on another touch. Powell. Daniel. Well, he didn't need to try and get a stat there. He could have just walked it out. But instead kicked it out. Willie Rioli told he has to come back and kick it. I'd rather go forward and crump. What's he thinking? It's short. Range option again.
He sort of was trying to do. He just thought he was backing Zach Butters to react quicker than anyone else and just get to the front to take the mark. Didn't want to bomb it to where all the numbers were.
Mentioned North's defence, been conceding an average of 117 points per game this year, worse than last year's 110. A chance to keep Port below that in this game at the moment. Vaughan Francis back inside 50. Rioli lurking, wants to crumb it. Powell, Pepper in the pocket, opens it up. And he misses. North dodge another bullet. Edge of the seat stuff. Port fans know that their season well and truly alive, if they can make it a 3rd win in a row. North trying to stop the rot. They've lost their last 4 coming into this. Daniel plays on and launches to the wing. Aaliyah. Handball missed his target. Wardlaw caught. Slung 720, got away with it. Darling. Horn Francis can't rake it in. Rosie. Got himself a free. Crowd roar their approval. They've been in the umpire's ears all afternoon. Everybody takes a breath. There hasn't been many chances to take one this third. Flyers go up, hits the deck. Georgiades played for a bit of front-on contact, didn't get it. Looping handball inside. Richards had a chance. Sweet's got a chance. Wardlaw fights hard. LDU wrapped up. Me, make sure he goes nowhere. Cherry pumps it. Front spot, Farrell. Position A. Curtis hunts him down. Oh, he cheers graded him like he did Josh Sin earlier.
Would have been hard to defend for a second time, wouldn't it?
Going up for the two of them. Back to back at the MRO.
Holding North Melbourne.
Oh, North Melbourne free. Cherry. Daniel. Sheasel. He's owned the term. It's out wide to Lucky. Spills it. Radicalia sees it out.
Just having one of those days, Nick Larkey. He's got his hands to a couple he should have taken. He's had some set shots he would normally convert. Oh, there's your follow through. Nearly kicked Zach Butter's head off.
I'd love the commitment to this smother ball.
I'm glad it wasn't harder contact. That could have been really painful. It could have done some serious damage. Not his fault, but it could have been a nasty accident.
Winds the pick up on the move. Superb. It's plenty on it. Conman can't mark it. Lord collects his crumb. Tried the quick fire handball. Couldn't thread the eye of the needle. Mopped it up to Richards. Berry. Time to size it up. And a spear. Really puts it to grass now. Through. Floats into the pocket. Georgiades. He's fumbled that over the line.
Wow, this is extraordinary.
Unbelievable.
What's in the water down here, right?
I don't know, but they're both drinking it.
Shot a goal was coming up there. Had he marked that clean-handed, and he spilt it. Sweet. Cherry. Sheasel. Cherry. Davies Uniac. Not the required distance anyway. Mark would have been paid.
Sheasel was at 13 for the quarter.
I mentioned he's coming off 32 possession game in the loss to Carlton last week. But you're critical of some of them not hitting targets.
He's just hit 23, the most on the ground. Horn Francis best. The ball with 22.
Now a little rush there. Berry against the grain did well. Burgoyne. Burgoyne, the old 1-2. He's within range. Miles Bergman. He misses. Yeah.
There's no wind. There's nothing. There's nothing to suggest they should be kicking like this.
Callum Dawson, that was bizarre. Of all the kicks to bite off in your return game, Callum Dawson just turned it over.
It wasn't a terrible option because Sheasel was in a lot of space, but he kicked it to the wrong side. He missed his target by about 10 metres, and that allowed Wines to come in and take the mark. Just see, it's not a great kick.
Come off the inside of the boat.
Yeah.
Subbed out last week with the heart rhythm issue. Was in good form before that this year. Looked great again last week before he was subbed out. And he was lucky to hit his shoe there.
We're blaming it on a flat footy or something.
We've got to find some reason for this.
Well, maybe it's because it's 10th versus 17th at the start of the round.
Yeah, but this is such a critical game for Port. They can really get themselves into the mix.
McDonald made the commitment. Rioli, the collect and go. He knew he had Zerha covered. Wide. Sam Powell Pepper.
Had a good game, Powell Pepper.
And sends it to that pocket again. Georgiades got up there, couldn't mark it. Amazing crumb. Is it a goal? They stopped the rot. He was the star a few weeks ago, Joe Richards. Kicked 2 early goals against the Hawks. got them going. That is a huge goal, that.
He's a good little finisher, isn't he? He's been a good pickup for Port Adelaide. They needed another small forward. He's given them another option up there. Got the goal earlier off the ground just in front of Jackson Mead, but he earned that one 100%. Front and centre, exactly where you should be if you're crumbing the bigs. The toes in the forward line, get to the highest percentage spot right in front of the pack.
Coming down, please, both sides. Go, boys. Get set up.
That's where the coaches tell you to go from the under 10s onwards. He was exactly in the right spot. Good finish.
Didn't play last week against Sydney. Back in this week. 9 games, 6 goals for Collingwood. Good pick up for Port Adelaide, Joe Richards. For their 3 ins this week. Little nerve settler for Port. Barker went off the deck. Race on. Powell didn't read the bounce. Gerhardt. McKercher. And they get the instant reply. Farrell. Read that nicely. Game 100 for Kane Farrell.
Leave it on. Play on.
26 possessions against Sydney last week. He's already made a statement this year as to the fact that he's gone up a year and a great year. Sid big caught. No holding the ball free. Marias, Finlayson combined. Richards the loop on. Back to Marias. Parker knew what they're up to. Gives the youngster a little bit of extras. Game 300 versus game 6 for Christian Marias. Slight difference, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty tough kid though. Got smacked in the head by Brody Smith pre-season. He got a week for it. But he wore it pretty well. From the knockdown. Burgoyne. Uncharacteristic fumble from Rosie, and that lets North back in. Simpkin. Well, he knocked that toward the boundary.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I don't mind. At least what he could have done was made an attempt to pick the ball up and still fumble it over the boundary line.
Poor attempt.
Just slapped it.
And 159. Kajai Simpkin should have known better. Sherry mops up his mess.
He's been good, Sherry. He's coming up to possession 18. He's dominated the hit-outs. He's got a goal to his name. He's worked tirelessly.
Huge 3.5 minutes coming up. Brought back out to a 24-point margin. Jones floats in. Curtis didn't mark it. Caught some knuckles on the way through.
North goalless this quarter.
Biggest margin of the game was Port's 29-point advantage at quarter time. North Melbourne free against Marias. So there's that battle again. The 300 gamer wins the battle. Marias gave it away. Hardiman sends it long. Good spot. Larky out the back. Didn't quite. Slapped it. Curtis. You know he's going to. You know he's going to revive them.
What I like was just the smarts from Nick Larky here. He just tapped the ball back into the corridor into a dangerous position. I'm not sure if he was 100% certain that Curtis was there, but you see him get the ball here. He just slaps it back. Corridor side, that's where you can do some damage. And all of a sudden it's to the advantage of Curtis, who finishes beautifully, and they're back in the game.
Three goals now. He's up to 18 goals. He's putting together a great season.
He is. And North Melbourne, after fighting back in that second term, it's just hovered around that 2, 3, 4 goal mark without them actually getting close enough to really threaten. They'll find a way to string 2 or 3 goals together unanswered.
You're not just 3-1 today, Paul Curtis. 18 goals, 6 for the year, so he's accurate.
Well, they've been accurate, North Melbourne, which is why the set shots they've missed, they're the number 1 team in terms of converting set shots, percentage-wise, but they've been horrible today.
I like that 5-5, Jace, from set shots.
By called for it back. Sherry knocks it down, Parker's direction through. Now, Sheasel, bang! Caught by Butters. Butters on your Sheasel.
He did well to take it cleanly, though, Sheasel, and getting wrapped up is probably the best result for North.
Back up in the air. And back into it, Horn Francis on the run. Couldn't pick it and go. McKercher, Archer, Daniel, McDonald. Hammers it out of there. Zerha. Threatening to get going as well. Cam Zerha.
They need him to burst into action. They need a couple of goals from Cam Zerha.
Simpkin. What was it, half forward? There's Curtis again. Position A playing in front. Spears it wide. Delightful. Mention is threatening to get his mojo back. Cam Zerha. You can't give him a sniff.
Zip to Duano.
Yeah, one set shot he should have kicked through, and then that miracle mid-air kick that hit the post would have been a ripper. But this gets them back to within a couple of kicks.
Big crowd in. Working its way back. Got it! Squeezed it in by a coat of paint.
The longer it goes, and they're still in it, the more North Melbourne think they can win this game. Back to 12 points again. Have not won here ever at Adelaide Oval. Average losing margin 45 points. They are right amongst it, Jace.
Yeah, well, now you mentioned they were goalless. There's now 2 goals apiece in this term. North Melbourne holding their own. It's been another great fight back. Can they get the next one? Looked forever that was going to fade to the right. Yeah. It just drifted back late.
A little bit of late work.
And a smashing in the clearances so far.
Yeah.
41 to 27 North Melbourne, and contested possessions 106 to 95.
Been an even quarter. 12 points was the margin at half-time. It's 12 again now. And North with the clearance.
Gee, that's a really costly free to give away in the centre square.
Simpkin straight down the staples. Darling's under it. Great grab, Radicalier.
Oh, he left Larky to do that too. That takes some courage.
High contact.
Oh, he's
it's
into
not
it.
the high play.
It'll be reversed, is it?
Horn Francis is in the middle of it. As you'd expect. The ex-Kangaroo, they're letting him know.
Curtis involved again.
Whose free is it?
I think it's going North's way, and they'll have a shot for goal.
Horn Francis, their pick one in the 2021 draft for North. They haven't forgotten.
Well,
Played it away.
this is massive.
So it goes back to where the ball was, is that
Yep,
right?
correct. A reversal of possession.
Crowd not happy. Luke Davies Uniac has it. But this is game on here. And Horn Francis and the Spice, and it's another 50.
Wow.
Well, the leaders of Port Adelaide need to get together and rally the troops here. Just compose themselves.
It's the closest they've been since halfway through the opening term.
The leaders of Port Adelaide need to get to their areas right now and tell them to just settle down, pull their heads in. There's a game to be won. They can't be giving away silly free kicks like that. Horn Francis had a big game so far, but don't undo your good work with giving away stupid free kicks.
It was interesting, Root. Once the 50 metre was paid, Kane Farrell just walked off. Didn't stand the mark. They just allowed him to trot in and kick it. You never know what might happen. We saw it with earlier, didn't we? We saw Paul Pepper kick into Condon.
I think we've just had a look at, I don't know when this free kick was given.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, no, it was paid before that,
It was
no,
paid
Jace.
before, was it?
And
Yeah.
Simpkin come in and gave him a bump prior. He gave him a little one back. It was 1-0 and there wasn't much in it.
Well, Simpkin deliberately poked the bear and the bear gave the free kick away.
Yeah.
6 points. North threatening to take the lead at three-quarter time. A big raw. Darcy Byrne-Jones gets himself a free.
Get some spice in this contest. This could be
And 50!
Oh, what's going on?
Gee, Connor Rosie got out the line, so I didn't have to catch it.
Absolute crazy stuff. North Melbourne had Port Adelaide on the ropes and they're about to let him up with a silly 50.
So you could read the lips there of Luke McDonald. He said, I threw him the ball. The ball has to go back to him. Did it go back to him?
Haven't they watched the kicking and handballing all day? It hasn't been hitting the targets.
No, they couldn't if he tried. Couldn't get it back there.
210 games of experience, Luke McDonald. give it back on the full. And Darcy Byrne-Jones has a chance to get the momentum back and the 12-point margin back, and the crowd go wild.
He actually did stop and try and give it back properly. He just didn't execute it right. If we have another look, but God, let's not try and justify too much today. Let's have a look here. There's the initial free.
Not a lot in the free kick because he thought he was going to have to dive to tackle him, and then he released it. So there he is. He's throwing it back, and it slips out of his fingers as he does it. So, and you can see the umpire's got no choice. He has to pay that.
Yeah, they've 50 for 50 years.
You have to. You have to give it back to them on the full. Unless you're a mile away and it's a full kick, they'll probably give you a little bit of slack. But from there, you've got to hit him on the full.
Breathing space for Port Adelaide again. 38 seconds from three-quarter time.
Both kicked 3 goals, 2 for the quarter now.
Yep. Back to where we were at that 12-point half-time margin. Holding free. Port Adelaide to get it. They'll get the last one of the dice of the quarter.
I just had him a little early because he was afraid of Butters breaking free. Big 30 seconds here. North need to keep it to just the 12 points.
Sends it up to the Leapers. Sweets down there. Over his head. Darcy Byrne-Jones. Lord went and collected it. Flicked it. Through.
I tell you, he has a way of impacting Ollie Lord.
Yeah.
He's had 7 score involvements. The most on the ground.
Yeah, I like him. I reckon he's the next. He's their Charlie Dixon right now. He can compete in the air. He can go in the run. They're hard to find, those players.
Great.
This will be his highest possession game ever as well. He's never had more than 10 possessions in a game. Ollie Lord, just the 6 possessions last week in a goal against Sydney. Both these teams hoping a hero will stand up in the last quarter. North Melbourne need to stop this losing run. They've lost their last 4 games in a row, North, coming into this. Never won a game at the Adelaide Oval. They've lost their last 14 in SA, North Melbourne. But it's there for them. 13 points to margin. North Melbourne, Port Francis, some spice, some anger, some nouns and verbs, and it comes down to this. 1 quarter of football. Don't go anywhere. Great to have your company on Super Saturday. Port Adelaide by 13 with a quarter to come.
As they said, folks, don't go anywhere. It's only 13 points of difference. 2 goals, 1, that's it. Oh, my gosh. North Melbourne, I tell you what, they put up a fight. They keep on coming, but Port Adelaide just get that answering goal at the right time. Port Adelaide putting on 3 goals, 3 in that third term. The Kangaroos, 3 goals, 2. Holy moly, we've got a game on our hands. Don't go anywhere. This is anybody's game. Let me just check the polls. How the vote is going in the live chat here. 70% have said Port Adelaide. 70% have said Port Adelaide. Wowee. Folks, let's just have a look at the live ladder. If Port Adelaide end up winning this, they'll jump up into 9th. Let's turn the live ladder off and see where they are. They're 10th at the moment. Of course, Western Bulldogs still yet to play after this game. But when we switch that live ladder on, they are up into 9th, only percentage out of the 8. I'll be happy with that. I tell you what, if Port happen to get over the line, it'll be relief. If North get over the line, they'll be super happy with their performance. I tell you what, North Melbourne have not shrugged the test today. It's been quite impressive by North Melbourne, the way their fight has been the entire match. All right, let's just have a quick look at the goal scorers, see if anything's changed there. Paul Curtis for North Melbourne, he's kicked 3. Zerha, Xiri, Powell, Luke Parker, McKercher, Lakey, your single goal scorers there for North Melbourne. Of course, for Port Adelaide, Darcy Byrne-Jones with 3, Joe Richards with 2, Rose Rioli, Sam Powell-Pepper with 1, along with Ollie Lord, Horn Francis, Georgiardi, and Finn Layson. There we go. Ukanaki also kicked a goal for North Melbourne. Disposal getters, Harry Sneasel. Have a look. North Melbourne guns are coming to the fore. Harry Sneasel tops the table for North Melbourne on 23. Luke Parker, the 300 gamer, he's up to 22. He's showing the young bucks what it's all about there on 22. Jason Horne-Francis, the best for Port Adelaide on 22 touches there. Let's just roll down. See your favourite player, where they're at. Of course, this is the line. This is the disposal count here, folks. That is their kicks, and this is their handballs. All right. Well, you'll be able to see who's getting a bit of the ball. Sam Powell-Pepper, he's up to 13 with 8 kicks, 5 handballs, 1 goal, 2. I still can't believe he missed that goal from about, 9 metres out, 6 metres out, directly in front. Yeah, that was a strange one. Tell you what, there's been a little bit odd kicking. Even North Melbourne have had shots straight in front from about 20 and faded the ball across the face of the ball and missed it. There's just goals in this game that should have been taken when they've been missed, and that could be the instrumental detriment to both sides in this game. If they lose, I'm sure they're going to review the tape and think, if only they had kicked that goal, things could have been a whole lot different. That is for sure. Flag Ruse, good on you, Triple B. I like Aaron. Aaron, shouty, and Flapper is crazy. Flapper is crazy. He's a power, go power. But I like Aaron Milroy's comment there. Flag pies. Yeah, I'm a pie, so gotta love the pies. All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground, and they will lead us into the final term. Whew, we're in for a cracker. It's Port Adelaide by 13 points. Can they hold on, or can the Kangaroos do the unthinkable and end up winning? All right, folks, let's head back down to the ground. Enjoy the final quarter.
And there, Jason Horne-Francis, here's at the three-quarter time siren, and of all people, it's Zach Butters, who himself could get a little bit loose at times. He's trying to calm him down. Horne-Francis has been involved with verbal and physical confrontations with a number of ex-teammates. Here's Kenny getting at the huddle. You can see the skipper, Connor Rosie, Butters there as well. They're all trying to calm him down. They had to drag him back. So Ken could finish talking to him. This is massive. They've got to control his emotion, because I know how important he is to getting Port over the line in the last quarter.
Those pictures paint 1,000 words. Sean Burgoyne is downstairs.
I love that vision. I love that they have to pull him back and control him. But at halftime, he spoke about the clearance battle between North and Port. You know, the Kangaroos were +6 at halftime. During the third quarter, they were +8 clearances. Overall, they're +14. So if they can maintain the rage around the clearance and win that battle, that's what's going to give them the opportunity to give their forwards a chance to kick a winning score. So I'll be watching that in the last quarter.
He's semi out of control there. He was hardly listening. He wanted to walk away. When he did walk away, you could see that the coach and the captain were going, we're going to have to keep an eye on him here. But you know what? Players like that can rip this last quarter to bits, or they could cost you the game. You don't know. What are we going to get? He's been good for them all night. So that's why we love watching Jason Horne-Francis.
We do. He's exciting. He gave away that one behind play.
Yeah.
They lost him 50, had the goal, but he's just as likely to have 10 possessions, kick a couple of goals this quarter and get them over the line.
We'll pay for who'll fire him up.
They've been at it for the last quarter and a half.
Ken Hickley has sent him straight back into the middle. Jason Horne-Francis is on the Milestone man. Luke Parker, Wardlaw to Parker. The Hornets got him.
Oh. And this is the thing. You've got the experience of Luke Parker, who'll be trying to play on the emotion of Horne-Francis, trying to suck him in.
Coming this way.
The wily veteran against the brash youth.
Seasons can hinge on games like this. Farrell, Brad down. Simpkin in the middle of it. Farrell.
Yep.
Sherry had 12 disposals in that third quarter. And a big one, the ruckman.
Coming this way.
Sweet needs to stand up in this last quarter.
Kicked off the deck by me. Got it to half forward, Finlayson. What kind of Jeremy Finlayson? The Port Adelaide fans got to get in this last quarter. He's not a regular in the team. He's been brought back in.
Well, that's not going to please the crowd. They thought Finlayson should have got a kick for being held. And now it goes to McDonald. So the crowd's getting really invested in this.
Luke McDonald sends it to half forward. Sherry front spot. Had a piece of it, not enough, but big hip and shoulder. Going for a Parker. Took a little bit of ball, a little bit of Butters.
You can see the grin on Zach Butters' face. He knows Luke Parker took him on with the body as he picked the ball up.
Yeah.
Great contest.
Butters knows he's done that a few times
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, mate.
Rosie bangs it back. Front spot, Finlayson, position A. That'll make his coach feel a bit better about bringing him back into the team. Honest to sub. Dodgy kick. Rosie made it look all right. Spins away from a couple. Got it out to Ollie Wines. The wise Ollie Wines. Georgiades in his pocket.
It's a good call, Dwayne. Dodgy kick from Finlayson, but went him down, kick it to your skipper, Connor Rosie. He had players all around him from the opposition, and he somehow managed to wiggle and worm his way clear to get a hand pass out. Have a look at this. 3 of them all around him. He's ducking, he's weaving, and then a miracle hand pass over the top of his head.
He had a shot from here earlier and nearly nailed it. Remember, hit the inside of the post.
Yep. He's had a sider.
There's a little breeze blowing to that end, so that helps.
Works it back. Gorgeous George. Can you believe it? From the pocket.
Pick the hard ones, miss the easy ones. That's quite often. Hasn't had a great night in front of the sticks. But that's a big goal to start off the last quarter. Huge goal.
Yeah, that goes the other way. North get the first, then they have belief. Then they're coming out with everything they've got. You kick the first one, you get a little bit of breathing space. It was Connor Rosie that did some miracle work. 1 against 3 that opened it up.
I love keeping the pocket open. Port Adelaide.
Just kick.
Yeah. 3 goals against Sydney last week. 3-1 against Hawthorn the week before. 2-1 so far today. And the ball up. You feel like Port Adelaide and North Melbourne season hinges on this. Butters, the Hornet. Round of applause. He dumps it long. Goal square. Front spot. Dawson did well.
Port Adelaide have won the first 3 clearances of the last quarter, so a good bounce back from them.
Alan Dawson. Wide ball. Woodlaw went up. Stevens crumbed it. Shrugged the tackle. Has some room to move. Little bounce. Wines hunted him. Bumped him on the kick. LDU stripped by Jason Hawke-Francis. Parker put the feed on into space. Constanti. Did he get enough on it? Zerha.
Clever kick and a clever hand pass from Luke Parker, the one in the middle of the ground that he just released over the top. They need the quick answer. It's got to go back and kick truly here. Cam Zerha. That hand pass there, just out to space.
Well, he kicked a good one for him in the 3rd quarter when they needed one. Can he do 2 in a row?
Bends it back, kicks the goal and kicks the door back open.
Goal umpires are earning their pay tonight, aren't they? With a couple of close ones. He's very quiet early. I don't think he had a touch till nearly half time, did he, Zerha? But you can always have an impact on a game, even if you go into half time and you haven't had a touch, you can still have a big second half, which is what he would have been saying to himself. It was a good kick. It took too long there, Stevens. But somehow they just found a way to keep it going forward. Great handball, Parker.
Sean Burgoyne downstairs.
Yeah, guys, North have made their sub. Dersman's in for Tucker, who's only had the 3 tackles, 0 possessions for the game.
Fresh man on. Port Adelaide had to jump with their sub earlier. Josh sent out, concussed.
3 goals from his 2 games. 2 Dersman. Might need a big one today for North.
Game 16 for their young recruit. LDU held it an eternity.
Yeah, great decision. Great decision. He had the jumper all the way through. He thinks he was legged.
Through to Rosie, who thumps it. Georgiades got up. Ran into a roadblock. McKercher, an arrogant, confident bounce. Chip kick.
Look out.
Oh, Paul Curtis picked Renegalea's pocket and they're out. Larky, Simpkin, Long, All the experience in the world there. And 50. So the umpire said that he'd held the mark already and then he thumped it out. Well, he thought he had a right to still try and spoil it.
Well, it looked like it was one of those where can you spoil it before he's held it long enough to be paid the mark?
The supporters will jump the fence in a minute, don't they?
There's a fence here for a reason, Ruth. It's a 7-point margin.
I might need to build that fence a bit higher just to keep them out. But look, you are not allowed to knock the ball out of a player's hands once he's completed the mark. But we've seen a number of marks over this weekend in particular where the ball wasn't held long enough and it was knocked out of the hand. So we get another look at it here. Yeah, I think that's there. That is there. It's technical, but it's there. Need to be better radical air, right?
I didn't need it. You've got to put, you're a massive unit.
Yeah, get your body
behind the ball and take what comes. But Aaliyah did knock the ball out, unfortunately. That's 50 metres.
Port Adelaide fans can feel the danger. And North can get their season back on track if they can steal this. And the big steal is on. Powell. Did he clip his shoe? Drew. Back to half forward. Off the spill. Powell. Pepper. Wide. Stayed in play. Combin. Well. Archer. Rosie floats in, left it behind. Finlayson. Radigalia, who owes him one. Passes it to Drew. Chip kick. Archer dives. Simpkin winds. Simpkin. Bergman. Mead. Butters. Blasts it long. Georgiades flies. Lord was at the back, couldn't quite trap it. Sheasel didn't have it.
The crowd's going to ride every single decision.
Yeah, they do it every week. Yes.
Alistair Clarkson was asked, did he still have the belief? Did he still have the magic? He's reached into his bag of tricks tonight. Sheasel off half back has been brilliant in the second half, and Dersma, the sub, now on to have an impact.
Kicked the last two, North. I've kicked 5 of the last 7.
Dersma to half forward. Darling got there. His body well. Game 3:05 for Jack Darling. He hits too wide for Luke Davies-Uniacke.
It's a really important day for North Melbourne, though. When you're a bottom team and you put in a good effort, everyone says, oh, they were competitive, they tried really hard. But how many good efforts do you put in and just accept without getting the result? Yeah. They actually have to get themselves over the line in one of these games. Start believing that you can win, not just be competitive.
Alistair Clarkson and Todd Viney, you saw on screen. Third season as coach of North for Alistair Clarkson. Bergman sends it long towards the wing. Dawson can't mark it. Georgiades taken down. Crowd scream. Don't get it. Coleman. Hardiman. All fans think the whole footy world's against them right now. Wines. Fumble from me. Caught. Victor handball up. Drew knocked it in the power pepper direction. Ball in. And the Blues continue to reign here at the Adelaide Oval on this Anzac appeal round. It's going to go down to the wire.
No free there.
Common fans at home. The combination, if you like, Northbound, absolutely love it. Dersma jumps in. Winds to Butters, to Drew. What you run and carry guy, sweet. That was sweet. Finlayson. He's pulled that in. It looked like a corner in the grass from here. He played it.
No, one umpire got overruled. He was about to pay the mark.
Oh, he did pay it.
And he was overruled by the other. He held the hands up saying mark, and then he looked at the other umpire who went, nope.
Well, if they're confident they know it hit the ground, well then there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, let's see. It's on this side. That's close.
Depends whether you barrack for again there. Wines! for the miracle. Missed it. And they're behind.
To overrule something, though, you have to be certain, don't you?
Well, and the original umpire said, Mark, say to him, no, I'm 100% certain. Once you're overruled, you're dead. Too late. I've got superiority.
You can't overrule the overrule, can you?
Well, maybe the third umpire can come in and overrule the other two.
No,
Say, no, I'm with the first guy. Edge of the seat stuff right now. The twists and turns have been epic in this. Butters rips out of the air, rips his way through the traffic, dumps it long. Georgiades can't mark it. Big crumb. Stevens wins it. McDonald, little fumble. Hardiman, chaos kick through Jones, knocked on further to Darling. Massive moment for O'Sullivan. Poise, McKercher, the kids combine to the old guy, loops it long. It opens up for Dersma, fresh legs. Simpkin, caught by Drew, stole 720 and taken to the deck. Has to be cooked.
He had to release the handball, Johnny Simpkin. They had the overlap.
Great tackle, Drew. That's what he's known for.
But he can hand pass it right there. He's just trying to break the tackle.
How Pepper did brilliantly. And he takes off on McDonald. Another huge moment in the game. Georgiades, great score, Hardiman.
So that is a good score from Hardiman, who doesn't have the size to match Georgiades. Got a good run, jump, got the fist in.
Port Adelaide have won all 9 clearances in the last quarter. Perfect punch there.
And we saw North win 10 or 11 clearances in a row earlier in the game. There's been serious momentum swings in terms of stoppage domination.
Volume's gone up again. Rioli lurking. Crowd screaming for Freeze Rioli. A little bit of Rioli magic.
So he kicks those two, really.
He does.
On that clearance, that's 10 in a row now.
Fresh Ron Francis and fresh Richards about to come back on for Port Adelaide. Sheasel to the wing to Larkey, got up there, great mark.
Does he have to stand up for North to win? He's had a quiet day and it looked real dangerous early. Need a bit of aerial power if they're going to kick enough goals to win.
Gets through a few of them. Lear, little fumble. Squeezed the handball out to Mead. Outside of the boot was horrible. Well, perfect if you're a North fan. Cherry. Back to his form from last year. All Australian form last year, but the selectors didn't pick him. Jones gets there. Great mark, Dersma. That's his forte. He's fantastic in the air. Sends it long, 2-on-2, goal square. A tyre, off hands, Constanti. Squeezed the kick, but not here behind.
Boy, great pressure from Zach Butters. That looked like Constanti was going to get the goal over the back. Butters there to cover.
Midfielders pushing deep. It's a lot of work to get down there.
Instead, he might have gone with the shush again this week like he did last week. Had he kicked that and made it a 2-point game or a 1-point game as it would have been to Burgoyne. It's an 8-point game now.
It's a long time to try and save it. Port need to keep trying to score.
To the wing. Finlayson comes up. On Francis, was that a handball? Marias. Finlayson, stolen back by Zerha. Sheasel. Fantastic poise. Wardlaw sends it long. Burgoyne. Front square crown was delightful. Sits it up again for Marias and Sheasel. Beats the lot of them. Harry's lived up to it all today. DePowell to Larkey. Not quite. Radically got a fist on it. Larkey tried to shrug. Goes to ground. Got it up. Crowd on a ball. We'll get a ball in.
Well done, Radicalier. Really good stuff. They look like they've got run in the legs here, North Melbourne. They look a little bit on top of the ground and compared to Port Adelaide.
Port has led all afternoon. North Melbourne has never seen the lead. Back into play. Darling tried to take it away. Butters on hands and knees. Finlayson falls. Shovel it out. Zerha, the miracle man, across the face.
They've got the sniff of a rare win, North.
Will it change North's whole world?
Oh, it would. Have they got the composure to take their opportunities when it counts?
Alistair Clarkson has been saying for weeks, it will turn. It will turn. Is their whole world about to turn on this last 10 minutes? Lord wrapped up, going nowhere.
Thank you.
North have come into this game 17th, 1 win, 5 losses. Wardlaw tried to trap it later. Good hard tackle. And the kids
Thank you.
have risen to the moment as well. Wardlaw, O'Sullivan, McKercher, Sheasel, Finlayson, Fiston. How Pepper caught. Wardlaw doing the job. LDU. Slung 720 again. Stevens launches it. Zerha under it. Bergman didn't go for it. Zerha slips. Hand it up. McKercher.
Oh, gee, that was a golden opportunity.
You spoke about composure.
Yeah.
You're going to get opportunities, and when they pop up, you've got to take them. He was on his natural left foot, just rushed it. That's a golden opportunity going begging. Just everything.
Yeah, it's one thing to get a possession early in a game. Different with 9 minutes left. 8 points the margin. He cuts it back to 7. Wide ball. Coleman got there late. And with the fist, take that.
In this position now, North Melbourne, they're attacking. They're trying to score goals. Port Adelaide just look like they've just pulled it back a notch. Just playing a little bit safer here. They do look a little bit tighter, so a bit of possession footy wouldn't hurt, but you don't want to give North Melbourne free run of the ball.
Butters on the move. Perfect palm down. Hammers at the Lord. Hands it up. Slick-handed. Hal Pepper to the Georgiades pocket.
Plenty of numbers back for North. He needs to take his time.
I need Lord to get down there and take another mark.
Told to play on. Sits it up. Goal square. Lord flies. All over the post.
It's one of the anomalies of our game, Wayne. If you're called to play on and you're standing outside the boundary line, why is not a throw? If not play on?
Well, you got nowhere else to stand.
But the ball's live and you're holding it over the boundary line.
Yeah.
It's a stranger.
Daniel Capel to Daniel. Looking over his head, Stevens. Turned around and it was there. It nearly hit him in the back of the head. North have lost their past 4 by an average of 59 points by 10 goals. Alistair Clarkson has told the world it takes time. It'll turn. 8 minutes away from their whole world turning here, North. Rosie didn't have it.
He played it well, didn't he? Connor Rosie. He knew he was about to get tackled, so he deliberately didn't take possession. And these are the cool moments when you need them.
Georgiades puts it to grass. Gets it back. Bergman hammers it long and high. And too wide on the full. That's what John will want to do. They get aggressive here, North. He goes central. Zerha's under it. Fisted away by Darling, though. Powell paddled it. Chased. Simpkin on the spin. On Francis. LDU. Good collect. Takes him onto the bounce. Oh, got a kick away. Turnover. McKercher. Got his arms free. Every little thing becoming a big thing now.
Claire's yours. You want to take it?
Well done, Aaliyah.
Thank you, Claire. Straight. Fire.
Chips it wide to Finlayson.
Outside
He
5. Yep,
decides
outside
to
5.
hold it up.
Yeah, they'll play tempo football when the situation allows it and they're happy to monopolise possession. Just take a bit of time off the clock. Work the ball forward.
Bergman wide to Moraes. Game 6 for Christian Moraes. Not sure he's played in a bigger last quarter than this. He sends it long. Lord, got it. Lord of the Flyers today. He's been brilliant. His biggest possession game of his career. Ollie Lord. Game 23. It's his forward line now. Todd Marshall injured. Charlie Dixon retired. And he could be the next big thing.
It's a great contested mark, and that's where the kicks will go late in the game. Teams want to defend from deep in the forward line in the pocket. They don't want the ball in the corridor. You could see it was Moraes that delivered the footy. He hung on to it, and then he was desperate for some aerial support. Luke McDonald. It was Comben, I think, got taken out of it by Willie Rioli. He just got his body in the right spot beautifully, and that left McDonald against Lord. Oh, is that a block? You'd think so.
That was a block 100%, but they let it go. Rioli did not have his eyes on the ball at all, but Ollie Lord did what he had to do and kick the goal, and that's what matters right now. That's what's in the scorebook, and there's been umpiring decisions all day you could argue about, so it's game on.
You're not going to make the North fans feel any better though, Root. If you're a North fan sitting at home and you see that block not played, you're going to put your shoe through the telly. Not done yet. Luke Davies-Uniacke bangs it to half forward. Is there an instant reply? Tackle late on Larky, got a handball on. Paul Curtis, not the man this time. Skies it. Dersma floats in. Rosie went up against the grain. Got it up. Burgoyne. Farrell. He torps it out of there. Hardiman nearly. Richards nearly. Wardlaw. Archer. Kick half smothered. Free kick. O'Sullivan's ball. This one's not in the book yet. 5:25 away. The big steal is still on. North have not led today at all. Parker goes up. Port Francis, we fell, but he held it in.
He felt he got taken high. Might have got a clip on the way through. Wasn't seen by the umpires.
Wardlaw hasn't had the most touches, but G's been good.
And the scramble at McCurchy going nowhere. Wardlaw was the same last week, Root. He was North's best for three quarters against Carlton until he was rested in the last quarter to protect his hamstring. He was their best last week. Horn Francis hunted.
He cannot get a high contact free kick. Horn Francis.
Not getting a lot of love from his old teammates either. Knocked down to Bergman. It is a bit like running into your old lover with their new partner on the street. For North and Horn Francis. Hurts to see him going well. Flicked away. Larky. Here is Wardlaw. Oh, can you believe that? Wardlaw from the pocket to keep it alive.
Well, you're not meant to kick him with a turn like that from that pocket. That's next to impossible to be able to bend it around. Let's have another look at how that unfolds. Here he is. You have to absolutely nail it to be able to not bend it too much. Brilliant goal by Wardlaw. He is going to be a serious footballer.
Yeah, they'd love to have him out there all the time. They've had to manage his minutes since coming back from injury. Just 54% game time last week, and he's in the low 60s this week. So, such an important player, but they've got their eyes on the long term, North Melbourne.
Started winning a few more clearances, North.
8 points to margin. 4 minutes 40 and change. Parker in game 300. Trying to inspire them. Sam, Powell, Pepper, blasted long, goes for home. Behind. Perfect for lead to a 9-point margin. North still 2 goals from the lead. Caleb Daniel, game 199, sends it wide. Big fist to Radaglia. Hardeman has been good. Twist and turn from McKercher. Handball smothered, gets it back. Blasts it to the midfield. Fortune might favour the Brave. Larky! Bang! Wardlaw held his poise. Daniel chips it. Pass with Davies-Uniacke. Rosie. Archer. Daniel worked hard. Third position of this string, maybe a little tired. Couldn't find the handball target. Archer in the hole. Heads the half forward. Simpkin. Huge for Simpkin. He sends it to Larky. Front on contact free. Against Finlayson.
Gee, a lot went right for North Melbourne to keep possession of that ball. They probably didn't deserve to get it down there, but they did.
Well, we know the troubles Nick Larky's had with his goal kicking today. It's been very unlike him. Can he produce one now? He's certainly going to have to kick right through this one from just outside 50.
You feel he's made for this moment, though. Wow. That is hard to believe. Alistair Clarkson can't believe it.
Jace, I know you said that's his normal kicking technique, but that's why he's missing. He's still got to, even when the pressure's on, you've got to kick through the footy with momentum. If you poke at it, that's when you're going to miss left or right.
I agree with you, Sean, but he is the most accurate converter in the game and has been for the last few years, doing it his own way. So he's not going to change. It's just a shock to see him missing some of the ones he's missed today.
Yeah, it was goalless in his only game against Port last year. Parker takes the mark. Chance for the Leapers. Larky in the middle of the pack. Thump down. Here's Wardlaw again. Almost deja vu. Out of play. That's a win for North, though. Take that. Port, this is bizarre. Port hasn't had a home game here against North Melbourne for 5 years. Last 5 games between Port and North Melbourne all been outside SA, mainly in Hobart. Last time North Melbourne were here against Port was 2019. So a rare meeting between these two here. And as we've told you, North have never won a game here at the Adelaide Oval. This could be their moment. Turnover. Had a golden opportunity. Rioli thumps it. Archer attacks it. Dawson. Poised there. Nice little dance step and a bounce. Bangs it. Front spot, winds. He held his ground. He was happy to take a bit of heat there.
Courageous. He stood under it with the back coming. Well done, Ollie Wines. They needed a contest North to bring that to ground, but you wonder if the clock's going to beat them, running out of time. They've had opportunities, North, and they just haven't been able to take them.
2 goals in just under 2 minutes.
This will be 3 wins in a row if North can hang on. That gets them some momentum in their season.
Wide ball. Out of bounds. Almost a win for both teams. 8 points to margin.
Look at his jump.
He's been involved in everything, bro. He's been in the centre of everything that's been happening off ball.
Looks like a mouse has been chewing on it.
That's right, thank you.
No need to tell you how big this clearance is. The 2 ruckmen lock up. Darcy Byrne-Jones feeds it wide. Boundary line. Went on the ball in. Port Adelaide's friend. Horn Francis bangs it. But Georgiani's pocket. He has owned it. Going to have to get the lawyers in. Deal a certificate from Eddie Betts. But the way he's played in this pocket tonight, if he kicks this goal from here to seal the deal.
He's had a big game. He's coming up for possession number 17, but he's taken 10 marks. He's only got a couple of goals next to his name. Should have probably 4 next to his name and be kicking for 5 here, but it's been a strong performance.
Has the game in his hands. It bends back, it's across the face, but it's North Melbourne's ball now.
2 goals.
They need 2 goals, straight down the middle. Sheasel knows it. One last chance at the miracle. They need to clear it from here. Parker to Curtis. They get a goal. They can have some seconds left to steal another one. Larky's got no one forward. Simpkin chips it just over the head of O'Sullivan. Seconds keep rolling. Burgoyne winds. Rioli, not the required, had to play on. Used up more seconds and out of bounds, but that'll do.
Oh, it was a target missed by Simpkin. The chip over the top just carried too long. They would have had a shot for goal. You can see the disappointment on his face. It's been a great effort, but they've got to stop just getting close and putting in good efforts in these games. They've got to find a way to just start winning some of these games, demanding that they get the result instead of just saying being competitive is good enough, because it's not anymore.
They are coming off an 82-point loss last week, North Melbourne. It is hard to say honourable loss.
It's a massive improvement,
Yeah,
but you've got to start rewarding yourself with wins. That's the only way you get belief.
Rioli's got it. Archer hunts him down. Seconds tick down. The Port Adelaide win a classic and maybe a season changer for Port Adelaide. A tough, gritty win like this worth so much more than the 4 points. They led all day. North Melbourne did not see the lead at any stage. But Port Adelaide win a third game in a row and a 4 wins, 3 losses, and have crept their way inside the 8.
You are watching Super Saturday Live on Fox, brought to you by the all-electric Toyota BZ4X. A twilight thriller at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide have held on to beat North Melbourne by 9 points, making it 3 wins on the trot. David King, Jack Rewalt, so close for the Kangaroos, but Port, they just held on.
Yes, they have. It was so close, and you look at the missed opportunities. Like Nick Larkey, he's never had a game like that where he's kicked for goal so poorly, and that opportunity late in that last quarter just to bring it back to within a goal, and the momentum as well. A couple of undisciplined 50-metre penalties from a North Melbourne perspective, and it took the wind out of their sails. So close for North Melbourne, unfortunately.
No one could believe that Nick Larkey missed.
No,
No one. Jason Dunstall in commentary, everyone watching.
He's the best set shot in the league nearly, and he's missed one from 25 metres out.
But you can't pin it on one moment.
No, you can't. Port were the better team across the day. That last 10 minutes of the first quarter is the 10 minutes that won them the game. 4 goals from 9 entries. They moved the ball pretty easy early in the game, and you got to learn to throw the first punch of the Kangaroos. So they've got some learning to do, but it's a much better performance than where they've been.
Who is our Castrol Edge ultimate performance?
You couldn't stop watching him, could you?
Well, he was fired up, and they came for him as well. That's the other thing. And I mean, this was a pivotal point in the game as well, where you think it was nearly going to blow up again, right on the third quarter time siren. And
These were
maybe King was the ultimate performer.
Well, this is
very interesting picture.
I'm looking forward to talking to Jay later on, because I think this guy, he just requires so much management, so much investment from the coaching staff and from his teammates to just keep him in line, keep him in check, and to keep that focus. He's a star factor player, but he created an investment today for the Kangaroos that nearly got them.
There's a fair bit to discuss the fallout to that game, and we will in the Saturday night debrief, but we have to turn our attention to the nation's capital. It is the GWS Giants and the Western Bulldogs, a new chapter in this fierce rivalry. We've got the Anzac ceremony live from Canberra next. This is Super Saturday Live.
All right, folks, there we go. What a ring-a-ding-ding last quarter that was. It was anyone's game, but Port Adelaide, they hung on by 9 points. 9 points only, I tell you what. North gave it a good fight. Port Adelaide putting on 2 goals, 5 in that final term. North Melbourne putting on 3 goals, 3. Wow, we thought North was going to get up over the top, but what a game. Definitely a lot better game, the final 3 quarters than, well, let's just say the last part of the first quarter, where Port Adelaide got out to a 30-point margin, back to 9. Whew. Wow. I was just having a look at who these teams play next week, and there's going to be some good games as well. For North Melbourne next week, they play Thursday night football They take on Essendon at Marvel Stadium. That should be a fantastic match. That's going to be a match, well, it's well within their grasp of winning that. And of course, next Saturday, you've got the Western Bulldogs at Mars Stadium, Ballarat, taking on Port Adelaide. That should be another fantastic game as well, folks. I'll tell you what, 70% of the votes came for Port Adelaide today. Commiserations North Melbourne. I tell you what, I know they keep saying there's no point in saying, oh, we nearly get there, but don't close it out. Tell you what, if they perform like they did tonight, I'm sure they'll take a few scalps this season. It's just a matter of time. And Port Adelaide, well, they did well. They hung on for a good victory, so they should be quite proud of themselves. Just a moment. There we go. All right, so let's just finish off, folks, with having a look at some of the goal scorers and the stats before we end this, because the next game coming up in about 20 minutes' time is the GWS Giants taking on the Western Bulldogs, which is going to be an absolute cracker of a game. Paul Curtis there for the Kangaroos, top the table with 3 goals for them. Zerha with 2, and of course Zeri, Wardlaw, Powell, Parker, Kircher, Lakey, Ukanaki, and Darling got 1. For Port Adelaide, Darcy Byrne-Jones ended up with 3. Joey Richards ended up with 2 with Ollie Lord and Mitch Georgiadis. Rose Rioli, Sam Powell-Pepper, Jason Horn-Francis, Jeremy Finlayson all scored 1. Just to have a look at the disposal getter, there was only one person that hit the 30 in today's game. That was Harry Schneasel of the North Melbourne Football Club. He topped with 30 with 20 kicks, 10 handballs, 4 marks, a tackle, 3 clearances. Well done. And of course, the top player for Port Adelaide were Connor Rose, Jason Horn, Francis, and Zach Butters all sharing the honours there with 27. Of course, Luke Parker, the old boy, celebrating his 300th milestone game this evening for North Melbourne. He had 27. He had an absolute fantastic game there. All right, let's just roll down the stats there quickly, because we are going to head on over. Sam Powell-Pepper ended up with 17, just the 1 goal, 2. There we go. Let's just keep rolling down. Luke McDonald there for North with 13. Jackson Archer, well, he was a little bit better in that final term. He ended up with 12 touches for the Kangaroos. And as we keep on rolling down, there we go. That is your disposal getters stats for the team players. Now for the team stats, there we go. Not much in it. North Melbourne actually had more possessions, 15 plus there. 5 less in the kicks, but 20 more in the handballs. A lot of inside 50s for both teams. They both got opportunities. I think they'll be definitely ruining, pardon the pun, they'll be ruining their missed opportunities when they had set shots on goal. That is for sure. That is for sure. 56 inside 50s for Port, 49 for the Kangaroos. Their disposal efficiency, Kangaroos down a little bit, but so were Port, but still not too bad. Their efficiency inside 50 were pretty good. Free kicks on today. The Kangaroos +6 there, 20-26. Umpires love the whistle today. They certainly love when they can blow that a bit. The hit-outs, the clearances, stoppage clearances, all very, very tight, all level. Just 2 and 3 the difference, and 1 the difference in all those. Contested possessions, uncontested, not a great deal of difference there. 130, 148, uncontested, 181, 180. Very, very tight game. It's just in the marks, 72-48, just ahead of Port Adelaide. Marks inside 50, 15-11. That's pretty good for both teams. Both teams, as I said, hitting some targets there, giving their forwards an opportunity, but just couldn't quite get the job done on the scoreboard. All right, folks, that's this game over and out. I thank everyone for coming in, of course. And don't forget, coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes' time, we're going to go on to the next live game. And, of course, that's up there at Monica Oval. That's the GWS Giants taking on the Western Bulldogs, a great rivalry that's begun. And I tell you what, it's going to be fierce action out there on the ground today. We know how these two sides play. They play hard and tough, fast-paced. It should be an absolute ring-a-ding-ding game. All right, folks, that's all I got for this one. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. We will see you at the next game.